It's time for Twit This Week in Tech. Oh, we got a great show for you. Jeff Jarvis joins us, Myriam Joire, and from Bloomberg Business Week, Mark Milian. We're going to talk about the Verizon merger with AOL, AT&T, and DirecTV, what to expect at Google I/O and WWDC, and I'm going to do a little rapping. It's all coming up next on Twit.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for This Week in Tech is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. This is Twit This Week in Tech, episode 510, recorded May 17th, 2015. You're the error. This Week in Tech is brought to you by Braintree. If you're working on a mobile app and searching for a simple payment solution, check out Braintree. With one simple integration, you can offer your customers every way to pay, period. To learn more and for your first $50,000 in transactions fee-free, go to BraintreePayments.com/twit. And by Lynda.com, the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. For a free 10-day trial, visit lynda.com/twit2. That's LYNDA.com/twit2. And by GoToMeeting, the powerfully simple way to meet with coworkers and clients from the convenience of your computer, smartphone, or tablet. Share the same screen and see each other face-to-face with HD video conferencing. For a 30-day free trial, visit GoToMeeting.com today. And by Warby Parker Eyewear. Get boutique quality, classically crafted eyewear, including sunglasses, at revolutionary prices. For a free home tryout of 5 stylish frames of your choice, plus free 3-day shipping, go to warbyparker.com/twit. It's time for Twit This Week in Tech, the show where we cover the week's tech news with some of the best journalists in the business. Well, not last week, but this week, yes. And I'm really glad to welcome Jeff Jarvis, who's normally here Wednesdays for This Week in Google. He's a professor of journalism at the City University of New York. He blogs at buzzmachine.com. He likes long walks on the beach. No, I'm sorry. And
he's usually pinker than this.
And he's looking good. Like the hair. It's just growing out there. That looks nice. That's good. It's good to see you on a weekend, Jeff.
It's great to see you.
Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
I'm honored and delighted. In fact, I was actually hurt that I haven't been asked to honor in a long time.
You've done this show before, though.
I've done the show before, but it's been quite a while. And I thought, what did I do wrong?
I feel like it's cheating when we ask our other hosts to be on the show. Like, that's too easy. That's an
no,
easy
but I love it. I love it, to be honest.
Good. Well, put him down for more often, will you, Jason Howell? I love Jeff.
I'm on it.
He's the greatest. Plus,
and
you were so cranky on Wednesday.
I was. I felt bad. I felt bad because I did. Matthew was just the nicest. Matthew Ingram was the nicest guy in the world.
He's a sweetie.
Even for a Canadian, he's really nice.
Yeah.
And we disagreed, and I went into full Jeff mode, and he was in full Matthew Nice mode, so I lost that one.
It was fun. We loved it.
You had it. You thought, Jeff, move on. Enough, Jeff. Enough.
Well, I was just trying to get to a commercial. I was representing the economic interests of the program. That's all. It's good. It's good theater. Also here from Bloomberg Business Week, Mr. Mark Milian. Great to have you back.
Always a good time.
Do you live in the city now?
I do, yeah. And today was what's called Beta Breakers, which is supposed to be an annual marathon.
It's not even a marathon. It's like 10 miles.
Show.
Now it's just a bunch of frat boys get drunk and puke in the city streets.
It's gotten a little out of hand.
It's definitely.
There's no athleticism involved.
There is, I guess, for the first hour of the competition,
Actual
and then
runners
there's another 4 hours of just drinking publicly.
And it makes it hard to get around. It's great to have you, though. He covers global technology for Bloomberg, and always nice to have you up in studio with us. Also, Myriam Joire is here. We love having her here, formerly of Engadget, tankgirl.com. Oh, you got a website now. TNK.
I've had it forever.
GRL.com. Are you putting stuff there, though?
Yeah, we'll see review videos and stuff and whatever comes to mind.
Long-time mobile phone editor at Engadget. So you get, in fact, you have.
I have the G4.
So many cool things.
I do a lot of your phone reviews here.
Before you buy, she's a regular. She's also a regular on All About Android. This is the LG G4. Jeff, this is, I think this is my next
This is the
Android
one.
device.
This is the one this year.
You like it?
Yeah. I think it's
got no on-off switch.
Pardon the pun, but it edges out the GS6 a bit.
Yeah, I've been using the Galaxy S6, but I have to say it's a little wonky. I have to reboot it every day, and I think this might be a lollipop, an Android 5.0 problem. People say there's a memory leak in Android 5.0. The hope is that 5.2 will fix it, but I'm running 5.1.1, and I have to reboot.
Yeah,
I'm not getting that on the Nexus 6.
You are not?
No.
I'm kind of hitting my Nexus 6 right now.
Well, we all need to keep our Nexus 6 in case we get an invite from Project 5.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've been thinking about that. Now I'm going to have to, because I'm not ready to switch over my regular phone number to Project Fi.
Right, because you lose your Google Voice capability, right?
Well, I don't even use that much. But probably what I'll have to do is move my account over to my Nexus 5 and then do a Project Fi on my Nexus 6. It's going to be very confusing.
The camera, you say, so Nexus 6 camera is not good.
No.
And the screen is only adequate. When you compare the screen to the QHD screens on the Galaxy S6 and the G4, these screens are spectacular.
So there's a lot of debate right now as to whether the GS6 and, I mean, let's put it this way. The GS6 and the G4 in terms of camera have really finally brought Android into the realm of the iPhone.
I think they compare favorably to an iPhone.
Better, in my opinion.
In my opinion as well.
But there's a lot of debate whether the GS6 or the G4 are better, and I actually do believe the G4 is better. And it's not by a little bit either. It is significantly better. Again.
Well, I ordered one, but no, this is not. We don't know when availability will be. No. Everybody says they'll have it.
I think
what's the price point?
We don't know.
We don't know. I mean, we can expect about $650.
It's the usual.
You know, and $100 to $200 on contract.
You don't think it'll be a $300?
No.
Feature phone deluxe?
No.
Let me take a picture of you.
Hey.
So you like it's got laser focusing.
Hi.
So it's faster, right? Or it's just better because it's
what
laser.
I like about the camera in particular is
hey, that's a good picture.
The low light performance. Like that's
actually great.
It's pretty bulletproof, right? What I love about
Look at the detail.
I know, right? It's pretty bulletproof, like the iPhone. It has incredible amounts of low light performance.
Yeah.
And it has a manual mode, which I really love. Hang on.
We go back to the camera here.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to the camera. So in here you have a
same picture on an iPhone.
Similar.
It's pretty
picture.
close.
I mean, the iPhone's really good too here. You can, but
but the camera's probably not technically
move it down a little bit.
What I like here is that
yeah, right. It's not as good. It's an 8-megapixel sensor.
This is a
like
16.
And this has 3-axis OIS. It does rotation OIS as well as XY. And this one does no OIS. You have to go to the 6 Plus.
Has OIS.
So it has a manual mode that gives you RAW.
Holy
and it has histogram, and you can set shutter speed.
Oh wow!
And ISO. Whereas the GS6 can only you can't set shutter speed on the
iPhone
GS6.
is sagging.
Sagging in its.
All I know give me my saggy phone back.
All I know is that it doesn't apply to everyone, but if you're into photography, the manual mode on this is killer.
I feel like people, when they buy smartphones these days, the camera is, if not the #1 feature, it's right up there.
Oh, I think after your decision between Android and iPhone, it's
camera's the next thing. Yeah. Well, I can't wait till they release this. I hope that
mine's what version of Android it has. If it's too bollocksed up.
Well, and so people are saying, and they may be right, that this memory leak issue is a Galaxy S6 feature. And supposedly Samsung has a fix that they're pushing out ahead of 5.2. But
lots of folks in the chat room are saying on their Nexus 7s they don't have a problem. Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with my Nexus 7. My 1+1 with Oxygen seemed fine. But I find that the Galaxy S6 becomes slower to respond over time, and after a day or two, you really want to reboot it. Here's a low light shot.
Here's a low light shot.
Wow!
It's a long
Try that
exposure.
with your iPhone.
It's a long exposure.
1 second. Nice.
Oh, you can
set
it for a 1 second.
This is 1 second.
Holy cow!
Wow!
Holy cow! Where do I get one? Can't.
Yep.
You got this from
again
where?
Having shutter speed control. This was from LG.
It's the Korean version.
Remember, shutter speed control is critical if you want to do some really good.
Look at the detail.
Yeah,
okay, handheld.
See that?
Wow.
Watch. That's that little tiny yellow dot there.
And remember, handheld 1 second exposure at 200 ISO.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
That looks really good.
I'm going to throw away my DSLR.
Okay, so to give you a point of reference, as you know, I've been a professional journalist for a long time doing live blogging of big conferences with a DSLR, with a big lens. I did the live blog of Microsoft Build with this, and it was web quality usable, no problem, all morning long. I've never been able to use a smartphone to live blog ever. This was worthy of, like a point and shoot.
Wow.
So there we are. This is where we're at.
So frustrating because you can't buy a phone before another one comes out that's better.
I think
you
we're
think
good
this
for
is
a while.
the one for the year?
We're good for a while.
What's going to happen at I/O?
What's
going to
Google
happen
going to
at
announce
I/O?
next? It's just a week, 2 weeks away now.
Look, I hate to say this, but as much as I've used the Nexus as my main phone since the Nexus 1, I've never been satisfied with the imaging experience. I've managed to
terrible cameras.
I've managed to extract incredible photos off of those phones because I know what I'm doing. But honestly, Google does not know how to handle imaging on their devices with their default camera or their imaging chain.
It's about software, isn't it? I mean, if you look at
software and
what
hardware.
Apple does with the iPhone, it's software. It's
and
just
hardware.
Great, and they have great. But aren't they both using Sony sensors? I mean, it's not.
No, but they made a conscious effort to pick good hardware, like large pixels, good sensor, good optics.
But the iPhone is an 8-megapixel camera.
Yeah.
That may not be a bad thing because, of course, it means the pixels are bigger than the high megapixels.
This is actually a 1.35 micron.
Okay.
The iPhone's 1.5 micron.
Okay.
The old HTCs were 2 microns, the ultra pixels.
My S6, I think, is 1 micron.
Is 1.1, yeah. It's the same as a lot of the high megapixel count, like the 20 megapixel on the M9 is
I remember
1.1.
talking to Jan-Peter Brunner from, I guess that's his name. I'm getting his name wrong. He was on Triangulation. Nokia engineer, great photographer. And this was a year, 2 years, maybe 2 years ago, said the future of photography is computational.
Absolutely.
It isn't about sensors. One of the reasons, this was when the 1020 had just come out, the Lumia 1020, which is a 41 megapixel.
Though this beats the 1020.
phone.
A lot of us have made some actual comparisons.
I
We're
think it
finally
does.
at the stage where this Steve Litchfield, who's a British camera photography expert, has taken these two phones side by side and actually has, for the first time, admitted that Microsoft's no longer in the running at this point unless they have something up their sleeve.
You got to feel for Microsoft. What are they going to do?
The only thing they had, right?
They had these great. They bought these great Nokia phones. They have these great Lumia phones. We do hear there's going to be a new Lumia coming out. A couple of new high-end Lumias coming out towards the end of the year when Windows Phone 10 comes out. And they've also said that they're going to make it possible to create take your iOS app and your Android app and port it over to Windows Phone. But my question is, but if you're an iOS developer, if you're an Android developer, are you going to really say, oh, great, I get the giant Windows Phone? Are you going to even bother? Even if it takes a day, is it worth it?
I'm mad enough to get stuff moved from iOS to Android.
I know. Let alone.
I can't get the New York Times app. I can't get instant articles on Facebook. It's very irritating.
Yeah. I think the next big battle is going to be over India because that's such a huge market that's just coming online on
Didn't we say that
right
China
now.
was the next big battle?
Well, China's there. China's established.
Sales are going down, aren't they?
I mean, growth is slowing down because they've reached a peak.
They've saturated. So it's India?
It's India now, and Satya Nadella has,
He's
roots
Indian.
there.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but Nokia has huge.
Well, the brand is big in a lot of those countries, but it's not the Lumia brand. It's the Nokia brand.
But from what I talk, when I talk to the Indian journalists I know, they're the people have kind of done the switch. They understand that
historically,
Microsoft is now Nokia or whatever.
Windows Phone has done well in odd markets like Russia, where the iPhone wasn't available for a long time. India,
Southeast Asia.
The reality, I think we're missing a big chunk here of it that's super critical is that low-end Android is a terrible experience.
Yes.
Low-end Windows Phone is not a terrible experience. In fact, it's not much different than high-end Windows Phone.
Myriam, have you tried Android One?
I have not tried an N11 device yet, but I have tried Moto G and Moto E, and they're great.
The cheap version in India and now Turkey.
Yeah.
Targeting emerging markets.
And it's designed to be workable in a cheaper phone.
It is a challenge, though. They're selling a lot of Android phones, but they don't run very well.
Jeff, I agree with you that there are some that are like the Moto G and Moto E are good examples of awesome experiences on Android at low price, but it's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, I agree. What I'm also curious about, though, is that the Android One is designed for that. And if it's cut down to work, I'm really eager. When I was in India, I tried to find an Android One phone, and I couldn't. I didn't have time. But I'd love to buy one just to see what it's like.
But we could stipulate, I think, that Windows Phone gives you the best low-end.
I think right now,
I think their low end is a significantly higher bar than Android's low end. Like you can put Android onto
a $10
$70 in components. And Microsoft tends to not let OEMs do that.
What's what is the 530, the 630? What is the cheapest?
Oh no, there are some that are not available in the US.
Like
it's
the blue
400
phones,
series.
yeah.
420, 430, 440, 450.
Yeah, Nokia started to go significantly down market.
Those are like you don't want those, trust me. Like you look at the specs on those, you're like, whoa, time warp back to 10 years ago.
I think we take reasonably a bit of a hit because we pretty much focus on the high-end smartphones.
Yes.
The flagship phones. Because that's what's interesting, frankly.
And that's where all the profit is for these companies.
That's why Apple's so hideously
Apple
profitable.
loves it. Yeah. Samsung loves the high-end premium
So why
phones.
is India important? I mean, is
India is important because it's
a
massive market of potentially 1 billion users.
So you usually only make $10 a phone. You get a lot of users.
You get a huge foothold in the biggest new market. It's why China was important 5 years ago.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah,
how
you don't
that
make the money on the phones. You make it, in Google's case, you make it on the services.
Right. What's next after India, just out of curiosity? When we saturate India.
Well, they're also
Indonesia.
looking at Southeast Asia. A lot of countries within Southeast Asia are starting to come online around the same time. India has kind of been this success story everybody's been waiting for since around the same time as China.
Yeah.
But, government issues, bureaucratic issues.
This is your beat, by the way. That's why I'm
we focus a lot on this,
Is there infrastructure? Is that an issue? I mean, really, these smartphones require internet infrastructure.
They just got 3G within the last couple of years.
But now they have it.
Now they're starting to come online across the country.
Yeah.
But China's already doing LTE across. They're starting to roll it out into rural areas of China, all the biggest cities there, and India is not even close. So infrastructure will be an issue, and video is going to be, mobile video is going to be non-existent in India for quite some time. They'll be behind the rest of the world, but it's still going to be a massive market for companies to sell phones to, which is why Microsoft is looking there, and Android is doing this Android One initiative, which started in India. Apple makes exceptions where they'll sell very old models that they don't sell anywhere else. They'll sell them in India because they know they need a cheaper model to start to get a foothold there.
So that's where all those 5Cs ended up, huh?
Yeah. And they still sell, I think, the 4S there and the 4 even.
Are you kidding? Wow.
I talk to people all the time who have iPhone 4s
I didn't realize
in the United States of America, my friends. Why is Microsoft investing in submarine cables to Asia? What is that? What is that, Jeff? You just held up. Was it iPhone 4?
That's the latest iPhone I own because I've been Android for that long.
You got one. That's all that matters.
By the way, one more point on India real quick. Mark, you're right. I was at the Hindustan Times about 3 weeks ago, and from our media perspective, the opportunity for India to leapfrog the web world to the mobile world, they can really stand apart and make great progress in new ways to look at media and services. And that's huge for us. I think that we're still stuck in a web world.
I need to understand this better. Maybe, Mark, you can teach us, because it is a very different world where even power infrastructure, charging infrastructure sometimes doesn't exist. People use phones as their primary computer. A lot of banking is done, I understand. This is all what I've been told. A lot of banking is done on the phone.
Yeah.
That's your bank.
Yeah, I mean, those two issues you brought up, power and banking, are particularly interesting in Kenya, where
in Africa,
where charging your phone is like
they're vendors with carts.
Yeah, exactly.
Who go around with power
walk for half an hour just to get to a place that'll have a reliable charging station, and then there's a service in Kenya called M-Pesa.
This is huge payment service.
One of their telecom companies just offers this payment system that works with your phone bill using text messaging to pay people back and forth. They were years ahead of us in mobile. I mean, we're just now starting to come on to Venmo and Square Cash and some of these things, whereas Kenya's been using this for years and years.
I find it fascinating. Where does India stand in that continuum?
I think, like Jeff said, they're very much like bypassing PCs.
Right.
And many people there have never used a computer before. And their first computers are these smartphones that they're just starting to get.
I mentioned this.
Mark, have you covered Flipkart?
Oh yeah, it's like the Amazon of India.
It's the Amazon of India, and it's
Snapdeal is their other huge competitor there. And now Amazon is starting to invest a ton of resources into India because they see this massive e-commerce market coming online. But it's billions and billions of dollars.
It's got to be challenging for American companies, though, to understand. It was hard enough understanding China, to understand these new markets and act appropriately. It took us years, frankly, to figure out how to deal with China.
China and India are two, I think they recognize emerging superpowers that want to sort of self-contain the benefits to an extent. And
they
so
don't want American companies. They want
companies.
Yeah.
And so if you're an American company who wants to work in India, you need to find a local subsidiary there that you can work with. And it's not as easy to break as it has been for China in the same way.
Right. Let's take a break. Come back with more. We got a lot to talk about. Verizon purchases AOL. Somebody made the joke. AOL got another old company to buy dial-up service. Another old guy buying dial-up from AOL. I guess AT&T and DirecTV also getting together, and lots to talk about. Mark Milian is here
from
from
sun.
Say again?
Frolicking in the sun.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, it's summer.
Oh. It is. It's summer. We're frolicking in the sun.
So they're mating. It's like, it's mating season.
It's spring. It's the lusty month of May. You ever hear the Jonathan Colton song on that subject? It's May, outdoors lovemaking begins today.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Is this an ad?
No, this is not the ad.
Jonathan Colton ad.
This is an intermezzo. Mark Milian's here from Bloomberg Business Week. Myriam Joire, our great friend from tankgirl.com, and Jeff Jarvis, not only from This Week in Google, but he actually has a job teaching journalism to young people.
Corrupting them.
Actually,
they need it.
They need
young people today, I tell you.
Okay, so I started getting the New York Times, but I can't read it. The print's too small. I've been spoiled by the internet.
They make a large print version.
Command 1.
I hit Command 0 and Command 1 and it's still too small.
It doesn't work.
I can't. So I'm actually going to stop getting the print edition.
Wow.
I was all excited because we had such a great experience on our honeymoon of opening the paper, having a cup of coffee, reading.
I don't think it was, that was not the New York Times that made the
the honeymoon was that was just a halo high. Okay, yeah. The halo effect. But then you get home and it's like, I can't, Lisa says, they're printing it smaller. I said, I don't think they are. No, they are. It's smaller. Yes, and my clothes are shrinking. Our show today brought to you by Braintree. Talk about mobile payments. Braintree has brought together every possible way to pay so that if you're creating a mobile application with just a few lines of code, you can integrate Braintree in, and it's incredible. That's why Uber uses it and Lyft. I like that. If Uber and Lyft use something, you know it's got to be good. Airbnb. GitHub started with Braintree payments. They've grown with GitHub. They've scaled from your first dollar to your billionth dollar. Braintree can do it. Living Social uses them. Munchery, StubHub, everybody. And how can you pay? Your customers can, of course, use Apple Pay. They can use credit cards. They can, by the way, they can use Bitcoin. It works with Bitcoin. Venmo. You mentioned Venmo earlier. PayPal, of course. So I want you to try it out. BraintreePayments.com/twit. They've got a sandbox. You can see what your app would look like with Braintree Payments integrated in. Of course, it works with all the languages, 7 languages, .NET, with Node.js, PHP, Python, Ruby, of course. It's making payments in these apps seamless and magical, and you need it in your app, and you can get it now. In fact, it's such a good deal, you get the first $50,000 in transactions fee-free when you go to BraintreePayments.com/twit. You know your users want these payment methods supported with just a few lines of code. BraintreePayments.com/twit. Microsoft has released information about how many different SKUs there'll be of Windows 10. There's going to be home. There's going to be mobile. There's going to be pro. There's going to be enterprise. There's going to be education. There's going to be mobile enterprise. And there's going to be 3 different Internet of Things versions. We thought Windows 10 was going to be, well, you know, do it like Apple does. Release one version and have it work everywhere.
I'm
Get a
disappointed.
Chromebook.
Get a Chromebook.
Yes, get a Chromebook. I'm disappointed. Actually, a bunch of us at Build, I was at Build, and we came up with this great idea, which is to make a version of, they should make a Chrome, Edge is the new browser, right? What is it called? Edge. I said they should make a version of Windows called Windows Edge, which is Chrome OS, the same thing.
They already have
boosts into Edge, the web browser, and gives you, you know, a very well managed, secure, well updated version of Windows.
Okay, you have the choice. Would you rather use that or Chrome OS? You'd use Chrome
I would
OS.
use Chrome, but in terms of strategy, this would be a great way in.
No, because people use Windows to run Windows applications. I mean,
You'd
Windows
be
software.
surprised. Some people still buy Windows machines thinking they need all the functionality, and they'd be
don't. It's
perfectly
too
happy
much.
with Chrome OS. As
That's
Jeff
why we
said.
tell them to buy Chrome OS. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
and at some point, I mean, the overcomplication of this, which is the Microsoft way, hurts them. It sells Chrome. Don't worry about all this stuff. Just buy one thing and be done with it.
They also, you know, we had
Wow.
started saying July for Windows 10. Turns out that was just one vendor, and Microsoft has not confirmed that. They still just say this summer, which could be any time between now and September 20th. So at some point. Here's one thing, though, they're doing. They're taking in hand the Windows Phone updates, and they're saying, we're going to do it from now on, and all Windows phones will be updated at the same time. Can they get that by carriers? Because that's something that's been killing Android.
I think they can totally bypass the carriers if they want.
They can? They can say, we're just going to push it out.
I mean, the carriers are going to be kicking and screaming like they always do, especially Verizon and AT&T, who want to be in control and want to say, you know, we need to test this on our network, blah, 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 blah. We all know it's BS, but hey.
Is it BS?
It is BS. It's completely
I can
BS.
understand why Samsung may say, well,
Why do you
look,
think an
we've
unlocked
got
phone like
skinned
this
versions
work
of Android.
tremendously well on AT&T LTE right now.
They don't
It's
need
never been tested by AT&T. It's perfectly fine. That's why standards exist.
Right. Well, if you want to avoid fragmentation, get a Windows phone. Yeah, sure. That's another great reason.
That's ironic, I think. That was
Yeah, it
supposed to be
is.
ironic.
I don't care about Edge that much. I see some stories here. We could talk about Edge. This is the browser that replaces Internet Explorer.
You mean Windows Edge? The
Windows
version of
Edge.
Windows I'm proposing. Sorry.
I like the idea of Windows.
It's cool, right?
They do do a free version of Windows for OEMs with 9-inch or less screens called Windows with Bing.
Oh, Bing.
Oh, Bing.
Oh, Bing. So lost.
All right. I guess we need to talk about the big merger or acquisition. It's not a merger. $4.4 billion.
It ain't no equals, yeah.
It is not equals. Although, really, I guess not. What do you think, Jeff, AOL was worth in its heyday? $4.4 billion sounds like a lot of money. It's probably not, though, right?
Not at all. What Matthew had the numbers on Twig. It was something like 160. I mean, it was some ridiculous number.
It
Lots
was
more.
200 billion or something at the time.
Yeah.
Well, that was a merger. The Time Warner AOL thing was a merger, right? So we don't know exactly.
AOL
But they were
buys Time
valued,
Warner
though.
for $162 billion.
There you go.
January 2000.
But that was Time Warner,
they
and they
were-
got
that
rid
was
of
Time
that, right?
Warner.
Weren't they valued over 200 billion at one point?
Probably, but
And the
that's with
dot-com
Time
madness?
Warner. Anyway, $4.4 billion. It's not a fire sale. The question really
no, it's
is,
a good exit. I mean, Tim Armstrong did a very good exit here.
yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, it's better than being bankrupt. So, $50 a share. The question everybody's saying is, what's going to happen to the AOL content properties? Seems to be some consensus that Verizon really wants AOL. This is not what AOL says, by the way, or Tim Armstrong says, the CEO of AOL. But I think most of us believe that Verizon's really buying it for the mobile ad technology and the content. We talked about this on Wednesday on Twig. The content will probably be sold off, including Engadget, TechCrunch, the Huffington Post. You still think that, Jeff?
Yeah, I think so. It may take a while.
I don't
but
know.
yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Mark?
I think the whole value of AOL as a tech company is that they had this whole audience, which was based largely on their editorial. I mean, once you sell
What does
the
Verizon want
websites
this audience for?
to sell advertisements to them. The same reason AOL has blogs.
I see.
And so who's going to buy Verizon AOL ad technology when Google and Yahoo are far and away the leaders?
So we should stop thinking of Verizon as a internet service provider or a cell phone company and start thinking of them as a content company?
It's a media giant.
As a media giant.
It's like Time Warner before they split cable off.
Yeah, they're trying to do that. I'm not saying they're succeeding.
Verizon is in the...
Or like Comcast, which just bought NBC.
Comcast is a very successful example of that, aren't they? Comcast is a content company.
Arguably starting to turn NBC around.
Well, they own Universal Pictures too, right? So they own movies, they own television.
Mm-hmm.
They're the delivery medium. They're also an internet service provider. Is this Verizon trying to be Comcast? As if anybody would want to be Comcast. Actually, Comcast...
there are plenty who want to be Comcast.
Yeah, Comcast is doing okay, I'm sure.
I think it's...
You used to work at Engadget. How is that going to work? Because, you know, I feel like the editorial team at Engadget and TechCrunch are going to feel a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit before the show, and I know these guys really well. I work with them. You know, Michael Gorman's editor-in-chief at Engadget. He will walk way before they try to tell him what to write and how to write it. And that goes to for his team as well. I'm not worried about them caving in any way. I'm more worried about if they have to walk, what's Engadget as a brand going to become, obviously.
Right. Then it's a house organ.
It's possible that we'll see Engadget as it is today with an independent editorial voice surrounded by Verizon ads the entire page.
Right.
Which would be terrible, but it's possible. And that would stink because it would, wouldn't really work very well to try to read, unbiased editorial content surrounded by Verizon ads. But I'm not worried about these guys. I think they're, as Jeff thinks, perhaps they'll get spun off. And if they don't get spun off, I think they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep their editorial freedom until they, as I said, until they have to walk, if they have to. I hope they don't.
A lot of attention paid to the idea that maybe Verizon wanted the video operations. HuffPo, Engadget,
they're all associated with those brands, though.
All have video. Yeah, but I'm saying, yes, of course, they wouldn't dump the brands. But does Verizon, Verizon has a deal within the NFL, but is it really good for the Verizon network to have video? I feel like if I were a phone company, I really wouldn't want people playing a lot of video on the phones. Or maybe, I don't know.
Are we talking about AOL?
That's the use case.
Are we talking about AOL On, the player, the crappy player that's embedded in every Engadget video I had to create? Trust me, that thing is the biggest freaking turd in the universe.
Good, I like hearing that.
Like, you should not even consider that an asset.
Okay, good.
Like, we were screaming to try to get AOL to let us use YouTube just because, from a workflow perspective, it's such a nightmare.
So I think,
I think YouTube's going to open itself up more. I was at this Newsgeist we'll talk about later probably, and a lot of demands for the AOL player, the YouTube player to be opened up because everybody hates their players. Everybody.
Yeah. We're moving to a new player that I think is quite good. A lot of porn sites use it. It's well, challenging.
Well, you know that porn drives the technology.
No, we talked about this last week. Dvorak says it's not true.
I'm joking.
The JW player, which they say is the most popular video player in the world. This is what we're going to use on the new Twit set. It's nice, and one of the things it does, if you pay a little extra, it does a Chromecast. So you could Chromecast with this.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. So what they're saying is they want the YouTube player. What the code for the YouTube player to be?
No, more of a ability to white label it a little bit,
so that they could host their own videos on their servers.
Host your own videos on it, exactly.
Their technology.
And why would you want that?
Because it's a better player. And because Google could sell in ads when it can have a higher value ad.
So Google might do it because this would give them more outlets for their ads.
As a content creator, the biggest, and maybe you can agree to, Mark, I don't know how it is with Bloomberg, but for us, the biggest issue was when we had a trade show and we have to get a video up in a very quick amount of time, YouTube sometimes was problematic because we'd be in a queue, right? Like you'd upload and it takes a little while to be live. Whereas one of the things we were able to work out with AOL On obviously was to get priority, right? So if we posted something, we could like set a flag, say this has to go up now. And so having that ability through YouTube would be fantastic, even if you had to pay them for it. I think that would be the great thing. And then some kind of revenue share setup where, I don't think it's really very good it's good for individuals like me who have their own YouTube channel to make money off the ads from YouTube. But I think for AOL, it was always an issue. They always said, we don't make money off of YouTube. So somehow I think YouTube, Google has to figure out a way for big partners, big companies to make money through YouTube in a, as well as themselves make money through YouTube at the same time, and for these companies to have special packages that let editors that work there click a button that says this needs to go live now. Like the moment the bits hit the stream, they need to be live.
So YouTube needs to pull up Facebook instant articles.
Kind of.
I mean, Facebook cut those individual deals with their 9 chosen publishers, and they let them serve their own ads, or they can let Facebook do it and take a cut.
Exactly, Mark. And the point here is that it's, and this is what came out of this conference I just went to, is that embeddability is into streams is a next phase here. And YouTube's been the model for years and years and years, and it still amazes me that the rest of media haven't gone that way, and now Instant Articles forces it that way. So good embeddable experiences where you have some data and you have control over your advertising, an opportunity for more advertising. We're going to see a lot of that coming up, I think.
Yeah, and I think so. If Google can crack this with YouTube, I honestly think that all these other video serving platforms are gone. Like, there's just no need for them anymore.
Vimeo goes away. Dailymotion goes away.
Maybe not Vimeo, because Vimeo is catered to slightly different. You know, Vimeo, we see a lot of short films and.
Yeah, there's no ads in Vimeo.
Well, exactly. So, I don't know.
There's a certain advantage to that. Although they might go away because there's no money.
But I really do think right now there is a missing chunk out there for the Engadgets and the TechCrunches and the Bloombergs of the world, and even the Twits of the world to use YouTube in a really compelling way, because YouTube gives you that audience, gives you that. You know, the searchability gives you all this awesome stuff, right? That we all love about it. I like to go on YouTube as a customer, as a user, and just browse around and get suggestions and do searches that give me relevant content. And that's what Google's done so well with everything, searching.
Somebody in the chat room gave me a press release from last year from AOL. The first cross-screen programmatic advertising platform. This is, I think, what Verizon bought, which is called One by AOL, and puts ads everywhere. Global, cross-platform. So maybe that's really the value. That's worth $4.4 billion alone, probably. They took them 4 years to build, and it's time-tested with all the AOL content.
Yeah, you know, the thing that Tim Armstrong is brilliant at, I keep on coming back to it, is that he built Google's U.S. ad structure and sales team.
He knows ads.
And he knows ads. He knows ads at volume. Yes.
Yeah. So that came from an acquisition, this technology, in 2013, Adapt TV, which AOL paid a little over $400 million for.
Okay. Good.
But yeah, that's definitely a big deal. I mean, $400 million is no drop in the bucket for a company like AOL.
Right.
Yep.
Let's talk. What was it? Newsgeist. You were in Helsinki.
Helsinki.
How was that? You were only there for a day.
I was there for a day and a half. Yeah, but it was really worth going. Google. There's something really interesting happening right now because Google, as we talked about on Twig before, wants to make nice with European publishers. As European publishers are filled with Euro techno panic and causing them problems. So they did a deal with 8 old-style publishers to do some innovation and a kind of a bribery, innovation fund and training.
Some money, innovate.
So it was good that finally there was a bit of an effort at détente in some groups. And then Facebook, frankly, leapfrogged them. And Facebook came out with instant articles, 9 publishers instead of 8. And said, we're going to put you in the stream. We have a beautiful tool, and we're going to let you keep 100% of the ad revenue you sell or 70% of the ad revenue, but presumably at a higher value that Facebook sells. Hell of a deal. So then this was the first effort, we call it a Newsgeist unconference with about 150 media people and Googlers in Helsinki. Very, very good discussions, very serious discussions. And gives me some hope that there is détente and peace in the kingdom, and also hope that this ability to leapfrog each other finally puts media people in a decent position where we can come up with mutually beneficial deals. Yeah, everybody's going to say, I don't trust Facebook, I don't trust Google. But as I always say, it's about the business terms. Come up with the right business terms and negotiate it. And so one of the, I've talked for a long time about this idea of embeddability. So we had a very serious discussion about trying to open up what Facebook did to every publisher and every site. And maybe Google could help. Maybe Facebook could help. Who knows?
I imagine there was a lot of talk about that.
There was a lot of talk about that. And then there was a session about what Google could do, which focused kind of more on Google News, but that was interesting. And some people in the rooms, without dissent, people said, buy Twitter. Google should buy Twitter. Others in the room, I was among them, pushed for a Google News API, a product API and a data API. And this was the kind of discussion we had there, because I think it was extremely healthy that we have this game of leapfrog going on right now. And we have major technology platforms that see the importance of media and the importance of news, want to play along. There's lots and lots of issues. There's issues of trust. Will Facebook pull the rug out from under us? Well, that's a business term. Issues of whether Facebook will take responsibility for the news and have the courage of a publisher to keep up controversial and difficult news, even among against censors and tyrants. Issues as to whether, my biggest issue is whether or not we publishers will get data from people to be able to build our own relationships of relevance and value with people. It's just the beginning, but finally it's a beginning. And in all fairness, the German publishers I've made fun of for making life so difficult for Google, well, to an extent, you got to give them credit. They brought Google to the table, if not their knees, and that brought Facebook to the table. And now there's a serious discussion going on. So it was a really heartening event, I thought.
I'm trying to find an example of this new Facebook news format.
There is an account. There is an instant articles Facebook account that they curate. I haven't signed up because I can't, because I have Android.
And publishers
what are we,
choose individual news articles that they want to host within the Facebook system. And on launch day, the New York Times put a single article through instant articles, so it's not by any means ubiquitous.
But it is beautiful. It's really quite a nice little CMS there.
Is this one here, 13 steps to instantly improve your day? This is from BuzzFeed.
You see.
I've picked something kind of trivial. I'm sorry. It's got cats. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Swipe right and look at those ladies on their wedding day. And then you can use the
turn
tilt.
The photo back
See? Whoa. Okay.
I never understood that UI. It's such a gimmick. It's just terrible.
Okay, but see, here's the bride, and here's the groom seeing her for the first time. What the hell? Wait a minute. Here's behind the bride. Right, there's the bride. And now, what the?
You know what that'd be useful for is a panorama.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, so here's the bride, and here's the groom seeing her for the sixth time. He's biting his...
That is so BuzzFeed.
Here's the bride, and here's the groom.
BuzzFeed.
But no, I'm getting the groom before the bride. There's the bride.
Are we going to have a groom and groom here anywhere, or bride and bride?
No, come on. Hey, he's Asian. That's diversity. This way. Scroll down and watch this majestic beast who is living life the way she wants to and doesn't even care the tiniest bit about your rules. Her name is Marnie. And there's a cat. Oh, no, a dog. What is that? An animal. I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know what it is. Marnie seems to be listing to the left a little bit. Okay.
It looks like there's a lot of custom work involved with putting this
How hard
together.
is this to do? Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like a buzz. No.
That's the CMS. The CMS. Right. I've been told. I haven't seen it, but
the more these internet companies are, asking publishers to spend time developing this particular version of this article for our app. The same thing that Snapchat is doing, where they're asking a select group of 8 publishers to, create custom channels every day of content.
That's why I'm arguing that we publishers need to get together and come up with some open standards for embeddability. Because otherwise, you're exactly right. You're going to end up creating 20 stories and 20 platforms with 20 CMSs and 20 different business models.
It's terrible, yeah.
It's going to be, talking about fragmentation. Yet, and the reaction from media people is predictable. I don't trust Facebook. They're going to be bad to us.
That's what Matthew Ingram said. He said you're doing a deal with the devil.
We can't not deal with this. Facebook's already there, folks. It already presents up to 70% of clicks and traffic to news sites. With a bad experience of having an open browser. So we're going to have to deal with going to where the readers are. We're going to have to deal with a new distributed world for media. Video figured it out and did it. Why can't the rest of media?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's Flipboard's job to make that happen.
That's right. It could be Flipboard. It could be Facebook. It could be a startup. I worked with a startup that unfortunately died called Repost.us that was brilliant at embeddability. There's a lot of players who could be doing this.
Well, but then if you say Flipboard, then it reminds me of something like Zinio, which was a magazine platform that magazines could put themselves on. The reason you go to Facebook is because that's where the readers are, right? It's not the platform.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying in terms of creating a standard, they have the technical know-how.
Right.
They've done some incredible technical things.
But you need to convince Facebook and Snapchat and everybody to actually use this.
I mean, this looks good. I got to say,
it's great. It's just too. As Jeff said, it's dangerous because it's Facebook.
Well,
they're going to screw us.
You're getting in bed.
No, but no. You see, but that's my point. I think we have to get past that because there is an effort at serious dialogue now and negotiation. The problem is that we are in a position of weakness. We're in a slightly stronger position now because they want to make friends. And so my answer to everybody who says, I just don't trust Facebook, is I say, okay, fine. Give me the business terms that would make you do this deal.
Yeah.
And if you make people sit down and give you the business terms, and a lot of people just won't do it because they just keep on repeating again and again, well, I don't like them. Well, that doesn't work anymore. You can't say that anymore. Now, we may not come to business terms, we may disagree, but that's the level at which we should be having this discussion now.
And it sounds like they got there in this first round. They got to some very favorable business terms for these 9 select publishers that they're working with. And Sarah Fryer at Bloomberg Business did an interesting article about this sort of these deals. She like did the math and found that the average age of these 9 publishers that Facebook is working with is 107, and that includes BuzzFeed.
Wow.
BuzzFeed brought the average down a little bit.
Brought it down quite a bit, yeah. But it's interesting because, a lot of these technology companies, they try to get into they work with, Vox and Gawker and some of these new media companies, but Facebook took a different approach where they hand-selected these old venerable
these were companies
publications
picked by Facebook, not the other way around.
Well, Facebook also included BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed was the lone youngster, yeah. And then the rest is Atlantic and the New York Times. And
you're right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right.
107.
But Google's deal was only with old publishers in old Europe.
Right.
Squeaky wheel time, whereas Facebook went with some brand, they find that nature stuff from National Geographic's popular on Facebook. It kind of fits. BuzzFeed will do anything to get the traffic there. The Guardian and the New York Times, it was a very, very big deal. This is very inside baseball, but Bild, which is the largest paper in Europe, a tabloid, is owned by Axel Springer, which has led the war in Europe against Google. And the fact that Bild signed up for this Facebook deal is a big deal.
Mm. More importantly, you played a lot of Werewolf.
I didn't. I refused.
That is a fun game.
I should have. Everybody else had fun.
It's really fun. You should play it.
Well, it was so metaphorically convenient because that's been the mood of technology versus media is mistrust and killing each other.
Yeah. The whole key to Werewolf is being a very good liar.
Yes.
Yeah. About who's a werewolf and who's not. Google's going to take its self-driving cars into the public starting this summer. You'll be able to see the Google self-driving cars driving around Mountain View. I mean, it's not like, and it's not going to be these Lexuses with the LiDAR on the roof. It's going to be the funny little cars that look like the Tonka cars you had when you were a
I would pay to take a tour in one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad because they're putting a temporary. The real ones don't have any steering wheel, accelerator, or brake. But to reassure people, they're putting a human in there and a temporary accelerator, brake, and steering wheel, so that if you see these driving around, you don't go, "Oh my God!"
Well, actually, it's a little more complicated than that. So all the testing they've done is at Ames, which is federal land, and the rules for California don't apply. And the rules for California are saying that to get their autonomous licenses, they need an accelerator, brake, and steering wheel.
So they put those in for California.
So it's not just temporary; it's until they can tweak the laws. Okay.
Yeah.
As you know, I cover a lot of automotive stuff too. I don't know. I think it's interesting to see how people will take to seeing these on the road.
Well, this is smart, right?
Yeah.
This is a way of getting those little cars out there, and it's all it's all about PR at this point. I think from a purely rational point of view, humans are terrible drivers.
Yes.
And shouldn't be allowed to pilot vehicles. If all the cars on the road were autonomous, there would be, I think, far fewer accidents. There would be far fewer traffic jams. there'd probably be fewer cars because you wouldn't need to own a car as necessarily. You just call when you want one.
Right. Special purpose cars is what's interesting here.
Right. Well, I remember talking years ago to somebody at Google who was doing autonomous vehicles, who said, you know, what this really is all about is eliminating car ownership. Because if you've got a fleet of autonomous vehicles of all kinds, and you could just push a button, by the way, now I understand why Uber's worth $50 billion. If you could just push a button on an app and an autonomous vehicle would show up, would take you to where you want to go. Let's say you're going to go camping. It would take you to the High Sierra where an autonomous RV would be waiting for you. You would get in.
I wrote about this in What Would Google Do? And it was exactly this idea that if you became a get you there company rather than a sell you a car company.
Yes.
That you want to go out on a date, you come with a Mercedes.
Right.
Want to go, pick up the kids, you come with a minivan. You want to go camping, you get a camper.
It's crazy. We all own multiple cars, that many of which just sit in a driveway or a garage and don't get used. So from a purely rational point of view, this all makes sense. From an emotional point of view, they've got a lot of splaining to do. They've got a lot of PR to do. They've got to convince legislatures. They've got to convince users. Who's going to be the first person to get in a car with no steering wheel, brake pedal, or accelerator?
I'll do it.
Really? Would you go over? Okay, Jeff. Would you go over a bridge in one of them?
No.
All right. Well, in the Bay Area, that severely limits your ability to move around.
But Jeff doesn't want to go on a bridge in a car with anybody.
Jeff,
I'll
tell
go
us
on an
why
autonomous
no.
ferry.
No, seriously, tell us why no. Why not?
Because I'm bridge phobic.
He's phobic.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's a different thing.
But you would trust the car.
Plus, Myriam, the Delphi car, the Delphi Audi that went across.
Yeah.
The story said that when they were scared because when it hit like the Ben Franklin Bridge, the car is confused by metal.
Oh, wow. You know what? I covered that car at South by Southwest, actually, and I was wondering if they're going to make it problem-free. I heard it took them several days, though.
There have been accidents, but according to Google, in every respect, when the Delphi car had an accident,
according to Google,
that they were all human-caused errors.
With quotes.
Yeah.
All errors in the world are human errors.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the robots will say to us when they start eliminating.
You're the error, my friend.
You are the error.
Boom. The error. We machines will kill you.
That's right.
You are error machines. We are not. That's
I don't think most people would argue with the logic that machines could perform better than humans.
Yeah.
In a
normal scenario.
In a normal scenario. The fear is that, you know, you'll have like a Siri moment and your car will just like, you know, drive off the road, or an Apple Maps.
I agree with you. I really think they need some manual controls. Look, airplanes today fly almost completely autonomously. There's pilots in there.
Pilots.
And the pilots are in there to land and take off because those are the critical phases of flight. I don't see why you couldn't have, you know, manual control. Like, look, the semi that was launched by Daimler this past week or 10 days ago now, at the Hoover Dam, the first autonomous semi that is road legal in Nevada, and you know, it's Freightliner, Daimler company, and that thing is really clearly designed to just cruise along on the highway in its lane. Autopilot follows the lane, follows the cars in front of it. But as soon as it needs to get off the freeway or pass something, it gives control back to the driver.
Yeah, Elon Musk has talked a lot about this, where he sees it should be autopilot, not self-driving or autonomous.
I think he's right, though.
I mean, people need to think about it in that context, where, well, planes have it, and it's a good thing to rely on when you can't focus 100% on the road at all times. But you still need people there to you know, help out if the vehicle is in a lot of traffic. That's actually not complicated.
This is 2025.
That's the previous one. Look for Freightliner autonomous truck, Nevada.
I did, but all I got was a
if you just got
press release.
Autoblog or Jalopnik, they have lots of coverage. Engadget covered
Mark,
it more recently.
That's interesting. You raised another interesting point here. Is that I'm thinking about this? Is that in a sense the autonomous car, the autopilot car, has to know whether the cars around it are driven by humans or computers. Right. Because if it's computers, it can go closer and they can communicate. If it's humans, it's, stay away. They're idiots. Make mistakes.
Yeah, and you know, I think road work is a situation where, you know, there's detours and, like, you know, it can't rely wholly on the map. And I know they've got those infrared sensors and stuff on the top, but it's like there's certain situations where you're driving, you don't really think about it, but it would be quite complicated for a computer to figure out.
Now, Jeff, would you be willing to jump in these and run around the town and
in a big truck?
Anything. Actually, I'd rather be in a big truck. At least if I tangled with somebody, I'd win.
But I like the idea of the autopilot.
You've talked me down. I thought this would be cool. Yeah.
No,
So
well,
this is what Google says. We didn't put a steering wheel in there because people freak out. They make mistakes. It's better to say you're out of luck. You just go for the ride than to let them take control because they do dumb things. Somebody in the chat room asked me when we started talking about this, well, who would you trust in black ice or 8 inches of snow? And I'd trust the autonomous car.
But at the same time,
we think we're better drivers than we are.
Google's software has been super buggy forever. Like
that guy, the hacker who said, I hacked into the entertainment system on the plane, and then I was able to get it to turn right.
Wow. I refused to read that before I got on the plane last night.
Anyway.
I think that's an interesting story, and it hasn't been confirmed, although apparently the FBI is investigating. His name is Chris Roberts. He's with One World Labs. He says he's a security researcher. He says he got on a flight last month on United Airlines.
United.
Oh, I think it's probably just his. I don't think it's the airline.
I'm just making fun.
Okay. Okay, and he says...
I'm Global Services on United. I defend United. Hopefully I get Global Services again. So I hope
he told the FBI during an interview in February he had hacked the in-flight entertainment system on an airplane, overwrote code on the plane's thrust management computer while flying. He was able to issue a climb command and make the plane briefly change course. You can imagine how the pilots felt.
To one engine, so it was also...
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe because I don't think these things are interconnected on airplanes today.
I would think there'd be an air gap between the entertainment system.
You would certainly think, because the entertainment systems are so awful. When I was on the plane today, it kept crashing. The guy sitting next to me was a deadheading flight attendant, and he kept on trying to reboot the system. Oh, great! They're awful. You see, when you see the reboot go by, it's like MS-DOS.
It's Linux mostly usually these days.
Well, it depends. I saw Linux because I saw a little Tux Penguin,
Tux
on
Penguin,
Virgin America.
Virgin America is definitely
they use Linux on there, and
the red
doesn't make me feel any better about the whole thing. He says he obtained physical access to the network through this seat electronic box. So if you're sitting in the right seat, you'll actually see the box that is holding the system. These are installed 2 to a row on each side of the aisle under passenger seats on some planes. He removed the cover by wiggling and squeezing the box, attached a Cat 6 Ethernet cable to the box, plugged in his laptop. Nobody knows.
Nobody saw this mid-flight. The guy was like wires hanging off of his seat, and he's
I'm just fixing the plane. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. He then used you know what? The passengers, if he said, oh, no, I'm here to upload some new movies to the flight entertainment system, they go, oh, yeah, go ahead, please. He used default IDs and passwords to gain access to the in-flight entertainment system, and from there was able to get into the rest of it. Reaction in the security community to the new revelations in the affidavit have been harsh, according to Wired magazine.
I wonder why.
First of all, they're shocked that he attempted to tamper with a plane while flying. I find it really hard to believe, but if that is the case, he deserves to go to jail, said Jamie Blasco, director of Alien Vault Labs, in a tweet. You cannot promote the true idea that the security research benefits humanity while defending research that endangered hundreds of innocents. My biggest concern, said Roberts, is obviously with the multiple conversations I had with the FBI. I'm obviously concerned that these were held behind closed doors. Apparently, they're no longer private. Oh, sorry. Oh, gee, his privacy was violated. Anyway. This guy's been investigating security he says, for 6 years after he got a hold of flight manuals and wiring diagrams for various planes. This is what hackers do. They get the manuals and they start to, but you don't want to do all the planes in flight, okay?
He's got to be on the do not fly list now.
Now he's totally that guy's screwed. What's that Cat 6 cable in your bag?
Yeah, no kidding. How long now before the TSA says,
and if water and Cat 6 cables.
If you've got Cat 6 cables, we have to...
God.
Oh, no.
You know that we all use them. I always bring one along just in case I need one for the
sir,
press
is that
room.
an Ethernet cable I see in your bag there? You're going to have to remove that.
When I flew in New Delhi, I had my OnePlus cable, which is really pretty. And what was this? What is this? What is this? I said, USB cord. He said, oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. He did tweet about it, so I think his protests that the FBI released the dialogue is maybe a little hollow. His tweet, find myself on a 737-800. Let's see, box IFE ICE SATCOM. Should we start playing with the ECAS messages? Pass oxygen on, anyone? Smiley face.
The thing in his favor on that tweet is that nobody can understand what he's saying. So
the thing... If you understand what he's saying is, that's terrifying.
I actually understand what he's saying.
That's terrifying. I don't, although deploying the oxygen mask is not as bad as turning the plane.
Because there's a limited amount of oxygen on the plane, and so if it uses up the oxygen,
I don't think he's even talking about turning on the oxygen. Just putting up the message on the console.
Pass oxygen on.
In the cockpit.
Oh, yeah, to see if the pilot comes running out.
Yep.
Hey. Anyway. But that is germane to the autonomous car thing because, of course, there will be people who will attempt to hack
I'm not that worried about that. I'm more concerned right now about the reliability and stability of these systems without a steering wheel and controls to back up in these fringe situations that Mark described, like construction zones. Like, I mean, look, I'm the first one to trust computers, but I also do believe that this is like going to take a while to really get sorted out.
I mean, Google's been making smartphones for a lot longer than they've been making cars, and they still can't make one that doesn't reboot every once in a while.
Exactly.
Okay, now I'm scared.
And phones. I mean, Apple's the same. Like, you know, it doesn't matter who you pick here.
Yeah. No, you're right. If there's software, there's human error. And if software is controlling your car... Okay, see, I was all excited about this. Now I don't want to ever do it.
I think autopilot. Let's go past the autopilot
I don't
phase.
mind that.
And eventually, when we're comfortable with the autopilot...
I can't have a nice meal. I can't read a book because I got to keep my hands hovered.
No, it'll give you a few seconds, and it'll come to a safe stop. The truck will come to a safe stop if there's no human intervention. That's the fail-safe.
Yeah, what I understand about Tesla's autopilot is it'll do most things for you, and then it'll... You know, you can intervene pretty easily, but I think
this is going to have the impact of increasing distracted driving, because you're now going to say, "Oh, I don't have to worry about it so much." Look,
you're not driving.
Well, you're expected to be there paying attention.
Yeah.
I used the self-parking thing on a Ford car to crash into a car behind me.
No, really?
Yes.
You did?
It was fortunately on the Ford test track. There's video of it.
That's right. That's right.
I was no, it worked fine.
Is this parallel parking thing?
Yeah. So we were on we were doing a thing with Ford. We were on the Ford test track, and it said, okay, now he said we're driving along, and they've had all these cars lined up, and he said, all right, there's a space up there, so press the button that says look for a space. So I'm saying okay, and then the thing goes beep when it passes a space I can fit, which is a big car, and I said okay, and he said now. Press that button and take your hands off the wheel. So the wheel goes, there it is. So there, you found it, but that was quick. Thank you, Jason.
Okay.
So
let's watch this.
Go ahead and turn up the audio. So it's going to see that space. It's going to look for that space. Remove hands, put in reverse. And then I just follow the instructions and watch. So my hands are off the wheel. The wheel goes zzz, and see that? It's parallel parking me. And it does a perfect job with one exception. They didn't mention that once you're parked, put on the brake because you're still rolling.
Oh, well, that's not
But that's my point, is you trust the system, and then you forget that you still have responsibility for a 3-ton vehicle. And there's the engineers in the back in the car I ran into laughing at me.
I think every automaker should be required to submit their autonomous software to the Leo test.
Yeah, I want to drive them all, and if I can't crash it... features of all of our vehicles. Oh, I was so embarrassed. But, you know, I felt like they set me up because they were sitting in the car laughing at me. So I feel like they neglected to say, oh, and Leo, when you parked, put your foot on the brake and turn off the car because it's still rolling, still idling, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't they just have it brake automatically?
Well, that's what I thought. It's done. I'm here.
So here's a question. Is this still drunk driving if the car's driving itself?
Oh. Well, that's another thing,
programmer.
right? If it's driver assist, you drunk programmer. How about that?
drunk programming.
Drunk
programming high on weed.
I'm just saying that the human is the weak link here. So this whole idea of, oh, well, don't worry, it's just going to be driver assist. That's dangerous too.
Well, so Mark, as you said, as a punchline, but Google hasn't made a perfect phone yet. But who is more imperfect, Google or humans? It's really, at some point, it's a risk mitigation question.
Yeah, I mean that's Google's argument for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about the prospects for autopilot. I haven't fully come around to being comfortable with it.
You made me scared. I'm not going to do it now.
Sorry, Leo.
Our show today, by the way, great panel. Love it. Jeff Jarvis, he's slumming from This Week in Google, buzzmachine.com, the City University of New York, where he teaches journalism.
I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying to stay in that twit mode.
You didn't get angry.
I'm not in a twit mode.
I'll find something to get you angry.
Uh-oh.
Also here, Myriam Joire, Tank Girl, at TNKGRL.
Hello.
Hello. Peace out. Tankgirl.com. And, of course, from Bloomberg Business Week and their global coverage, Bloomberg.com/global tech. It's Mark Milian. Great to have you all. Our show today brought to you by Lynda.com. By the way, congratulations, Linda. Known Linda Wyman since she started since before then, when she was writing books on web design. We used to have her on the screensavers. Right about then, she started about 10, 11 years ago. She started Lynda.com, the ultimate online learning platform. She's done such a great job. Over 3,000 on-demand video courses, beautifully produced, complete with courseware, with transcripts, so you can search the text of the transcript and find exactly that point in the video. And videos about every subject. What is this? Fixing large rips, tears, and other damage? Oh, in Photoshop. Okay. Okay, now I understand. They've got great courses for photography, for Photoshop, but also developing, if you want to be a programmer, developing apps in Swift. When new programs come out, they work closely with the software companies so that they have day and date the training for the new software. They already have a course called Up and Running with Apple Watch, Exploring Photography, Exposure and Dynamic Range, Building a Mobile App with Angular JS and Iconic. That's state-of-the-art. That's the latest stuff. Code Clinic is great. If you've not done the Code Clinic stuff, there are new installments now in JavaScript, C, R, and Swift. Watch and learn from experts who are also great teachers, people who are working in the field. Stream thousands of video courses on demand on any device. Learn at your own pace. You can watch them from beginning to end if that's what you like, or you can watch little bits and pieces. And, the nice thing about Lynda, when you pay for a subscription, you don't pay for a course, you pay for the whole site. So you can, dip in anywhere you want. I love that. I want you to try Lynda.com. We've got a special deal for you, actually, a 10-day trial. Lynda, Lynda.com, Lynda.com/twit and the number 2. So Lynda, Lynda.com/twit2 and sign up for your free 10-day trial today. We love Lynda, and I know so many people who teach at Lynda. Some of the best people. Many people have been on our network, including, of course, the fabulous Burt Monroy. You've got to see his Photoshop stuff. Lynda.com/twit2 for a free 10-day run-of-the-place trial. So this is going to be, for the next couple of months, going to be interesting. We've got Google I.O. coming up in 2 weeks.
I'm still not invited.
You're not?
We only got 2 passes.
No, Jeff, look, it goes like this. When I was at Engadget, of course I was invited. I kept a very strong relationship with the PR people there. I still know them very well, Lily and co. But, they just don't, they just say that they don't have invites, and I just don't buy it.
They told us 2 per publication.
2 per publication is fair enough, but
I whined separately. And
so we got the 2 for Mike Elgin and Jason Howell. They'll be going.
Cool.
Jeff is coming out for that. So we're going to do Twig the day before because it's Thursday, Friday this year at Google.
You never know. I might still get invited the last minute. Last year, that's what happened. Last year, I just got an invite in my inbox randomly a few days
That's nice.
before.
So keep watching the inbox.
Somebody.
Why do you go to Google? Isn't this just a developer conference? Why do you care?
I care because it's an opportunity to play with the products and the features first, to be close to the the Google crew, so that you can ask them questions in person. As a journalist, that's very important. And also, it's a networking opportunity. You in person really at a conference, you get to see other journalists and tech pundits, and basically talk about stuff and catch up.
We also get a makeshift protest at last year's keynote.
That
was entertaining.
Yeah.
What were they protesting?
Well, that's right.
There was
this the Kevin Rose, we hate you, Google, you're taking over San Francisco people?
This was, I think those people were in front of Moscone Center with signs. This was some woman snuck in.
Oh, she yelled.
She yelled. I guess there was like a Google lawyer who was buying up a bunch of real estate in the city and allegedly driving people out.
Yep.
Yeah. So security grabbed her.
So that might be fun. Remember a couple of years ago, Sergey Brin parachuting in.
Jumped out of an airplane,
that was fantastic.
That was great marketing.
That was the, was that Glass? That was the big, that was
Glass,
the debut of Glass.
How that's faded off into nothingness. Huh?
I feel like Google has learned a little bit of a lesson that by giving away these expensive items, they drew in a bigger audience than they wanted of people who were really only looky-loos or trying to get free stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they won't let you in.
Probably. No, it's just, I think it's odd.
If you don't get in, come here, because we're going to cover the keynotes, as we always do.
Sure.
I decided, I could have said, oh, no, I want to go, but no. We're sending Mike Elgin, our news director, Jason Howell, who's the host of All About Android and the producer of this show. And then I and Gina Trapani, who's not going, will anchor. I think Aaron Newcomb will join us, maybe.
I'd be happy.
I believe so.
I'd be happy to join
you. If you want to come up, if you don't get in, only if you don't get in.
Yeah, for sure.
2.5 hours.
It's gonna. Now, are they doing the 2-day thing again, or is it? It's all
2
in
days.
One 2.5 hour keynote.
Yeah, one
massive.
keynote.
Go to the potty before it starts.
Starts
2.5
at 9
hours is an optimistic view on the length of this keynote. Larry Page will just show up and talk
it's
for
like
2 hours. about
Microsoft
nothing.
Build is like always 3 hours insane keynotes.
We debated whether to cover that, and I'm glad we didn't, because the first
it was
hour and a
boring
half
as hell.
was like was like, what are you talking about?
It is boring.
But Google will make this interesting, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to hear some Chromebook news and some Google Android Wear news.
What do you think the Chromebook news will be?
I want to finally be able to run Android apps in a tab.
They're very close
Just
to that,
standard
aren't they?
APKs.
Close.
That's not far off. That'd be awesome.
It's already kind of there, but it's not really there. I want
you have to use
see it like
third-party tools.
really.
Jeff did that, didn't you? Jeff put Skype on your.
Yeah, boy, that worked well.
It didn't work out.
No,
That's
looks
too
like
bad.
crapo.
Yeah.
But there's no official way to do that yet, and so that's not too hard to do. Although, isn't Android ARM and some Chromebooks are ARM, some are Intel.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, because it's all in Java.
I think the Intel ones will just emulate the the Dalvik stuff.
All you need is a Java or Art.
Yeah, it's a
You need
Dalvik
a Java
or whatever it's
JVM.
called now.
It's Art now.
Called Art. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I think Google has always been an interesting conference to attend. So I find it is just kind of an internal rant about being in the media, finding it weird how they're trying to limit who can attend these days.
Well, it's a developer conference. Now I have to say, last
Apple
year
Smart,
wasn't all that. Did you go last year?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't all that interesting.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
But Apple is smart. See, they do a developer conference, and after the keynote, they kick all the journalists
press
out.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. If it's a developer conference, developer conference.
All right, so who does the best one? You have F8, you have Apple, you have Google.
Apple does the best. I mean, they've been doing it.
They still do the best.
By
They always
far
do the
the
best.
I think
longest,
Apple's are the best ones, yeah.
Who has the best donuts?
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Microsoft used to because of Ballmer. Clearly a donut guy.
Ballmer was a donut guy. He's happy now. Apparently, he's running up and down the court at the Clippers games like he used to.
Hey, not as happy as Forstall, who is now doing plays in Broadway.
Yep.
What?
You haven't
Scott
heard of that?
Forstall is
Scott
doing
Forstall is
Broadway
directing
plays?
Broadway musicals and plays.
Oh,
yes.
man, the ego of that man. That just shows you. I could do anything.
That's right. Because I'm Scott Forstall.
I'm Scott Forstall.
I invented the freaking iPhone.
By the
Haven't
way,
you heard of it?
the Clippers lost, so Ballmer will have to take it a break for a while and come back next year.
We did a cover story on Forstall several years ago, and one of the revelations was that he was like a star in his school plays.
Oh, so maybe he is.
He was always the
Maybe
star.
he's better at this.
That's why he was so good on stage at those events. He just had that stage presence.
Yeah.
That's why he likes skeuomorphism so much.
He was the green beige, green velvet guy.
Yeah.
The wood.
God, I'm so glad we're past that.
Wood
I am
grain.
so glad we're past
I am
that.
too.
The only place there is for that is like the Urbane, where you have the watch faces that really have to look
Everybody
analog.
tells me that Urbane. I wore it, and
It's
everybody said it's ugly.
ostentatious,
It's butt
isn't it?
ugly.
It's kind of big and ugly.
I stopped wearing it.
I still think the 360 is the hottest thing. Look
yeah,
at
but the
it.
Urbane has the newest Android. Wear
Look,
it.
this is an E3 watch face.
It's pretty.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It's pretty. I don't know. I think the Apple Watch.
The Apple Watch is very nice.
Dvorak says this is the new fascist salute. Apple Watch.
What's your face? You got Mickey?
No, I don't do Mickey. It's just a boring old, kind of like your face.
it
It's
looks
just a
similar.
simple face. Yeah. You know, I don't feel like Apple Watch is either better or worse than Android Wear. They're just kind of the same.
As a watch person, you know, having been in smartwatches professionally for a while,
You worked at Pebble.
Yeah, I think that to me they all do the same thing. They bring notifications to my wrist
Right.
and make my life better. That's all I care
That's
about.
all they really do.
The rest is all
a little health stuff.
The rest is the health. Yeah, the fitness and health.
Can you
I'm starting to
adjust
use
your
more and
hearing aid
more.
with your Moto 360?
Not yet.
Oh,
You
there's
can.
an Apple Watch app for
But
We
it
old
was-
folks
you
have
could-
to worry about that
No,
pretty
but
soon.
wait, you could do it on Pebble first.
You
The
can
hearing
adjust
aid,
your
yeah,
hearing
they
aid?
have an agreement with Starkey, the big hearing aid manufacturer.
I have a friend who wears hearing aids, uses an iPhone app. This is actually quite cool.
It's Starkey.
It geolocates, so you can have a setting, say, for a restaurant. And when you get to that restaurant, it'll automatically change the settings because it's a lot of background noise, and it'll change the frequencies and so forth. When you're at home, it has a different setting. It's smart enough. And then you can do it all on the phone, too, so you can really control it. This is an interesting... This is... I guess the same thing.
Is it Starkey?
Do they
it's
have hearing
resound.
aids that pair
Resound
to
or the
your
other one?
phone that you can if you, like switch over and use it as a Bluetooth headset?
Oh,
Yeah, so on the
that'd be
Starkey,
great.
what was really cool is that you could mix the music stream coming from your phone with the ambient. I tried hearing aids adjusted to flat, right? Like so that it was just
Yes.
like having in-ear monitors.
You can use it as a Bluetooth music
yeah,
receiver.
and so it's amazing because
That's
you can
pretty
be
cool.
having a conversation like right now and listen to music at the same
Wow.
time.
Wow.
just what I want.
I know, right?
People apparently have difficulty going through life without having music at all the time. Drives
see,
me
all
nuts. You
I'm
go to
trying to say is
Vegas,
that-
you can't go anywhere without music in the
All
background.
I'm trying to say is that people with hearing aids are now enhanced. They can do
They're
more
better.
than we can.
Yes.
They can throw
Better.
their phone across the table and have that microphone pick up the sound and bring it to their hearing aid. That is what really is cool about it. It's bionic hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's like Daredevil, but for hearing.
Yep.
Well,
that's what I need, a Daredevil app.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear a
imagine
heartbeat.
Too, Myriam, imagine too goes to Google Glass territory. But imagine if you could get directions around your house from your hearing aid if you're blind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
No.
it's getting there. We're gonna get there.
Turn left, coffee table,
Cat.
turn right, straight ahead.
The cat would be everywhere though because the cat keeps moving.
I had a cat. We just got 2 kittens.
I heard. I saw.
Oh my
And I met
gosh.
the sister.
Yes.
The
We've
tiny
named the
little
sister
fluff
Venom.
ball of grayness.
Yes. So we now Heartbleed and
how's
Venom.
your dog doing with
Can
this,
we bring
Leo?
the cat out?
Is the cat here?
Is there a little fluffy? It was here earlier.
Yeah, here comes Anthony. Anthony fosters these cats. So the
How's
cats.
your dog doing, Leo?
Can we get the fluffy ball?
Ozzy loves the cats.
Really?
Yes.
I want the fluff ball. I want.
They're
to play
all
with the
black
cat
and white.
live on
Ozzy
the
thinks
air.
they're his.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Anthony Nielsen
Fluff
works for
ball.
Petaluma Pet Pals. These cats were, their mother died, so they were, the kittens had to be bottle fed. How long did you bottle feed? 7 weeks?
Oh,
Every 2
beautiful.
hours?
7 weeks old, but I didn't actually ball feed these ones, but
Oh, okay.
We
So
found the
I was
fluff ball.
misinformed.
Here, have the fluff ball.
Isn't
This
isn't
is
she
just
cute?
internet bait. I gotta get a picture.
Somebody said, you
yeah.
know, Leo, forget all the news shows.
Shame on you.
Just show kitties.
This week in kittens.
This week in kittens.
These are the very nicest kitties ever. So, Anthony, you just have Anna just there all day?
Hi.
well, actually, Tony's been fostering.
Tanya's fostering it now. So they really are great cats.
See, we completely derailed the show. I'm sorry.
Leo, you've got to hold the cat for the sake of the internet photos.
The
You gotta-
ratings of this show will be the highest ever.
There we
And
go.
this is where you got like.
Why did
the
I build a
cat, do the
studio?
Dr.
I just
Evil?
have cats.
You can do the Dr. Evil thing now.
Yes, my friends.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Bigglesworth. There is no app for a cat. Oh, Anthony, you want your kitty back? Okay, all right.
How on earth is it that I have this hanging out in the TriCaster as well?
Oh my God,
Mr. Bigglesworth.
So many Dr. Evil opportunities.
Yes,
apparently.
it's the chair. It's not me.
Jason, well played. All right, where were we? I'm sorry. I totally screwed this up.
Is there going to be a watch? Is there going to be when you're a watch
Smartwatch
person. You're a smartwatch person.
I guess.
To me, it's a pure. It's not a category that is going to be dominant in any way. It's and you know the day is long off when we'll see everybody wearing smartwatches, if ever. Right?
Yeah.
I agree. I think that there are some people still going to refuse to use a watch, and you know, I think it's just yet another wearable, and wearables have their place and will exist and will do more and more stuff. I think until we have natural interfaces that really work flawlessly,
this is the problem.
Where you can just like say, you know,
this is too small.
Yeah, I mean, right now it works if I want to say set a timer for 2 minutes. That works.
That's all.
But that's it, right? And beyond that, meh. So
all right. So what at Google I/O will we see a new Android Wear?
Well, we'll see what we saw in the Urbane, right? Like some enhancements.
I like that. Yeah,
that was good, right?
Yeah,
like
much
the
better.
lollipop stuff.
Very nice.
Jeff probably knows more what's coming. I think. Do you follow this a bit more? No.
Yeah, I do, but I don't really have a good idea what's going to happen this year.
I think it's.
I think we'll see. It'll be the Sundar show again, no doubt.
Sundar Pichai, who's really on ascendancy at Google right now, he pushed out Vic Gundotra. He pushed out
which is amazing.
Andy Rubin. He pushed out Hugo Barra.
Do we know that?
Well, they're gone.
Well, yeah.
And he's got their jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that, I mean, maybe it was Larry. I don't know.
Wasn't there more to the Hugo Barra story? Something about a girlfriend?
There was a love triangle with Larry and something. But that's Sergey. Okay, Larry wasn't involved.
You know they're all kinky, right? They've got to be.
As their boss.
They've got to be kinky. You know it. Those guys.
I'm not sure I really want to go there. But
family show.
Are you saying if you were an insanely rich billionaire,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
playboy, you'd do whatever you wanted,
right? Come on. All right. Anyway.
So was there a red wedding at Google, and Sundar Pichai just got rid of everybody and said, "I am in charge now"? It wasn't that way last year, or was it? He'd already kind of
he was already.
Yeah, Sundar was the star of the show last year.
Yeah,
and there was no Larry Q&A. That was the year before.
That's right. What will? And last year they gave away cardboard,
which was exciting.
I know people who say I'm not buying a Pixel until I go to Google I/O because I think they're going to give me the new Pixel.
Probably.
Really?
Maybe.
I don't think they're going to this time.
I don't think so.
No, it's too much money.
Because it's not that. For those of us who love Pixels and use Pixels, it's a wonderful advance, but it's not such an advance. People say, "Oh, look what they've done." It's just a better machine.
What it could be is that they might have a really cheap, awesome new Chromebook from one of the manufacturers and just throw that in there.
I think the Flip. Myriam, I think you're right, and if I'm going to bet on one, it's going to be the Chromebook Flip. The
oh yeah
180.
Who makes that?
Asus, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Asus, A something Taiwanese.
Well, it's the Asus.
I was right. So. Yeah, I mean, the freebie stuff is nice. This is the freebie from Build, right? I mean...
Really? They gave everybody an HP Spectre?
I wouldn't buy that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that either.
I mean, that flawed
What's wrong with the
trackpad
thing? It's like the widest...
Oh, man. Gift horse mouth.
I didn't get one.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to what comes out in terms of Android Wear and Chrome news, and maybe some Android
M
phone.
Android M?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure they're ready for another OS yet.
It's time.
We're going to hear about M in some way. They leaked that and then pulled it from the schedule. So it's already been kind of revealed that it's going to at least be talked about.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
What did they talk about in last year's that we haven't really seen again? Right, Android TV again. We keep on trying with Android.
Yeah, what happened to that? That didn't go anywhere. Android Auto's coming. It just takes a while for the automakers, right? But
true.
CarPlay from Apple and Android Auto. I think that's got to happen. I still hear from people who are in such pain trying to get their phone to work with their car.
Yeah,
it just does. It's just
my car has 185,000 miles, and I'm waiting.
Are you?
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
For the
You're not
perfect
going to buy a
car.
new car until Android Car comes
I
out.
think that we're going to see more VR, and
Because like cardboard.
because it's a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think we'll get is the plastic. What's view
Viewmaster.
Oh, the view.
I think it's very possible.
I'll bet that's the.
Here's
good
what
one.
I think.
That
could
would be awesome.
A wild card. It's very possible. Google has acquired when Microsoft came out with the HoloLens. If you looked around, it was apparent that Google was not too far behind on augmented reality, and that they had acquired a number of companies that were capable of doing some very interesting things. Not in the virtual reality where you're wearing a helmet and you can't see the world, but the augmented reality where you could see through glasses.
I got to try
but
HoloLens?
I've not tried it.
I did. I got to that special thing that
Build.
very few
People were
journalists-
disappointed by it.
I thought it was great.
Okay.
I think
But
the
you didn't
field-
see the first one.
No, I didn't see
See,
the
and
first
that
one.
the people were disappointed were the ones who saw the,
The
big
field of view is a little narrow,
Yeah.
but honestly, the tracking is unreal. And
I think
and
Google's
the
gonna-
level of opacity you can set. Were you there for that?
No, but I edited our hands-on, and it sounded pretty good. And they finally have a wireless prototype
Right.
Yeah,
now.
it's
so
completely-
in
and
the
it's-
first demo, they had Microsoft technicians following people around like holding wire.
I was pretty impressed. I think they've done a pretty good job. And
Okay, that's going to be my off-the-wall prediction for Google I/O. Watch Google's response.
AR, yeah,
It'll
AR
be
from
AR.
Google. I think AR is more interesting to me and more
Much more
likely to
interesting.
success in the future than VR. To be honest.
Yeah, I agree. We'll take a break, come back with more. Our show today brought to you by Citrix. The folks who do GoToMeeting, that is the way to hold meetings. I've tried them all, folks. This is the easiest. In fact, if you've not used GoToMeeting before, visit gotomeeting.com. Click the try it free button. You'll be up and running in minutes. And the best part is the people you invite to meetings will also be up and running very quickly. It's quick to down. If they don't have the software, it's quick to download. It installs. It just works. Not only do you share screens so you can be on the same page, you can show them your presentation or collaborate together on a document. And by the way, they could be on any computer. They can be on a tablet. They can be on a smartphone. They can be sitting. You could be presenting from an iPad in your backyard. And then turn on the camera. An HD quality webcam means you're basically in the same room. You see each other face to face. You're on the same page. It really is great. I think it beats a face-to-face meeting because it's so convenient for everybody. You don't have to go anywhere. You just turn it on and you're gone.
Yep.
It's easy to set up meetings. You do that right from your email. You click a link. You click a link to join a meeting. There's no more of this entering beep, 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 beep. If you want to sign up for GoToMeeting, you can do it free for 30 days. No obligation, no credit card. Just gotomeeting.com. You'll have your first meeting running in minutes. In fact, you'll be looking for people to meet with. Hey, let's get together. GoToMeeting. I know teams that keep it running all day long. GoToMeeting.com. It's the best. Try it today.
Take meetings in your bathrobe.
I do.
It's important.
You know what I do in that case, though? Fortunately, I have a detachable camera. I don't use the built-in camera, and I point it at an action figure so that you can't see that I'm in my bathrobe and I look powerful. All right, after Google I/O is over, we take a breath, and then Apple's WWDC, the Worldwide Developers Conference. And I think Apple, I don't know what Google, if Google's going to make any splashes, but I think Apple's going to make a lot of splashes in June with WWDC, particularly in streaming music. They will probably, that's when they'll announce Beats or whatever they call it. And
Are there many
did I do a
splashes
double take
left to
today?
make on that? Because a lot of that has leaked out. Because the music industry is just
Yeah, that's true. You're dealing with the record labels. These guys they're worse than me.
I think the more likely, I'm sure I feel pretty good that we'll get the streaming service, but I think the more likely surprise will be around what they do in Apple TV.
They think they'll do
Not
Apple
doing
TV.
an actual TV, but like doing an Apple TV potentially with an app
Be
store.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've dropped the price on the most recent Apple TV. It's down to $59 now. I suspect that they are going to do a new Apple TV, and I love the idea of an app store. Something I've wanted from day one, because then we could be on an Apple TV. Right now, Twit can't be on an Apple TV because only Apple can approve what's on Apple TV.
Right.
But if they had an app store like they do with iPhone, like they do with
Could be
Android,
a Twit app.
I could have a Twit app, and we'd be on
Do
Apple
we have a
TV.
Twit app?
Many Twit apps.
Oh, check
There are Twit apps on Android, and we don't do them.
Okay.
There's great members of our community who've done such a good job. Craig Hansen does an iOS version. Mark, no, I'm sorry, Craig. Got them all confused. Craig Mullaney does an iOS version.
Mark
Hansen does iOS and an Android version. Dimitri Lialan does a Windows Phone version. Craig Mullaney also did a Roku version for us.
Wow.
And when we launch our new website, which we're going to do in a few weeks, we're going to have an API associated to the web. You know, I was mad, Jeff Jarvis. Quartz got all this attention.
Yeah, I know.
QZ.com. This is it's Atlantic that does QZ.
It's Atlantic does, which is it's a great little company. They're brilliant.
Quartz is very good. The newsletter, the daily newsletter, is fantastic.
Well, and that was the interesting thing because they got a lot of attention recently saying Quartz isn't a website; it's an API. And the newsletter is one way you consume it. The website's another way you consume it.
They started without a homepage.
Right.
Wow.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing.
First.
Yeah, the old version used to just be a stream of stories.
Right. Yeah. That's what we're doing. We're redesigning.
Now they've taken essentially the newsletter and created like a live version of it
this
as
is
their
different.
homepage.
This is different. Yeah.
This is new within the last like 3 or 4 months, I would say.
They're really.
But yeah,
so it's a
Quartz
daily brief
box
you subscribe to?
Very
Is it
good.
really good?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get it.
Oh, I'm
Which
gonna have
ones?
to get it. Delivery
Americas?
time zone.
I get the Americas one.
All right, let's do
I'm
it.
going to do it. We're all signing up now.
I know.
But the same thing they're doing, we're doing, which is it's an API, and you'll be able to, all the apps will then now be able to subscribe to an API. Dimitri, who's works at Microsoft, I'm really thrilled, is going to do a open source Windows version that will be the new Windows 10 cross-platform. So it'll work on Windows Phone, it'll work on Xbox, it'll work on a desktop, it'll work on a tablet. Wow. So that's going to be the kind. I think that, oddly enough, is going to be the reference version.
I got an email from Quartz. I'm excited.
Already?
Yeah, thanks for signing up. Congratulations, you all signed up.
I signed up like 6 weeks ago, and I forgot that I had, and I never put them in my list, so it's been going into spam the whole time.
Oh,
so I just put them on my list, so I get it. Nope.
So now go back to reading Quartz. So they got a lot of attention for being an API. I don't know how did we get to this? I forgot.
Because you were jealous and
I'm jealous.
And happy. You were talking about your redesign.
Apps.
We talked about the Apple TV.
Ah, there we go.
New Apple TV, probably
like to
hardware.
get an app there. Yeah.
Probably new hardware, right? And
with the Beats or whatever Apple calls it. We don't. Well, that's one thing we don't know.
Well,
I don't know what Apple's going to call it.
They'll probably abandon the Beats brand for some sort of iTunes related.
When I saw Apple Music, I had visions of Beatles. I mean, it still stands to me as the brand. I'm older than you guys, a few of you guys, but Apple Music just struck out to me and said, "Oh my God, Ringo."
They got in trouble, remember, because they sued Apple Corps, the Beatles publishing or music company, or Apple Corps sued them, and they had a consent decree that said, "Hey, we won't get into music if you don't get into computers." And of course, immediately they got into the music, and they had to go back and renegotiate, I guess.
With Michael Jackson or with who?
EMI probably, but I don't know. You know, it's funny. I've just bought. There's a
nice.
little known Beatles USB collection that
my dad has that. It's great.
It's the 2009 remaster, and it's in 24-bit.
Wow!
Somebody told me about it. Yeah, it's not high res because it's 44K sampling, CD sample, but not 16-bit, 24-bit, which I think probably is all you need.
It's interesting.
But it comes on a USB key in a giant metal apple. And I put this on Instagram, and people said, "What's with the apple?" So I think Apple Computer won that round.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Why is it an apple? What's with the twig on the top?
People are too young.
People are too young. I agree with you.
How much is that?
Kids these days.
$260. They don't sell it anymore. There was a limited edition.
We need to do the show on a front porch with rocking chairs and shotguns.
Oh, that's Joire and I have always thought about that. Anyway, when you think Beats, don't think Beatles, Jeff. And when you think Apple, don't think Beatles. Yeah. You think they're going to get sued again.
But I think, okay, so Apple TV, hardware, apps, streaming, blah, blah.
Yeah. New music,
potentially apps. I think the Apple TV, if they get the deals done, could launch with some type of mini bundle of television channels.
I think 4K. There was some debate over whether it would be 4K. I think it is capable, but there's no 4K content yet.
Exactly.
That's what my guess was.
That makes sense.
But you'd be crazy not to make it 4K. That's the future.
What if Apple makes an Apple TV that's also an airport?
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
They've done it before with the time capsule. It's a hard drive and an airport.
Mm.
And actually, people do use Airport Express to play music because it has a music jack.
That's what I'm saying.
Now you're talking.
Because I don't see how. I mean, they could still have the regular airport and the regular Apple TV, and now they just have to combine the two, and then it becomes the hub for your house.
Yeah.
You connect directly to your router. I mean, your cable modem.
It's funny. I think Apple
Best performance possible.
Has shot their wad, which is not sounds like a sexual thing, but it's not. It's about.
It's a family show, Leo.
No, it's about old-fashioned guns, and you had put a wad. You had your.
I know.
Powder and your bullet and your.
Right? You had a packet in there.
Cotton wad that you. Anyway,
Jeff would know.
Jeff, do you remember back in the Revolutionary War when they the muskets and the thing?
How did that work? Howstuffworks.com.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel like Apple with the Apple Watch is kind of done, right? This is kind of, there's not a whole lot more to say. WWDC, I guess they'll talk about, I mean, they're not going to do the
I can see a revision of the MacBook Pro 15 Retina, because we have only gotten the 13 got the trackpad, but nothing, and the Broadwell. So we need to get Broadwell on new trackpad on the 15s.
I'm not even sure that they would mention that on stage.
But they might just announce it the same day, like Apple Store.
Yeah, they could do that.
How about a new iMac?
No, I don't think so.
A 30-inch iMac.
Ooh, I'd like that.
Which is also called the Apple Television.
Oh, well played, Mark.
That's not it.
Wasn't there a rumor of an new LG 5K or 4K panel, or 8K, an 8K panel?
That seems unnecessary.
Well,
it does seem unnecessary.
A lot of things. I mean, the iPhone 4 with a Retina display seemed unnecessary.
How about Apple going
unnecessary?
How about Apple going into more Internet of Things? How about Apple appliances?
Well, they have HomeKit. What happened to HomeKit?
They're building a car. That's not enough for you.
We're going to get.
But the Apple toaster, the Apple coffee maker.
I'm a little burned out on Apple. I think they announce initiatives, and then they kind of lose interest, and they don't make it. It takes a lot of energy to move this forward, and Apple doesn't seem to have the ability to do multiple things at once.
It's funny because I feel the same way about Google, who announces stuff all the time. And
Google, absolutely, it's true. Yeah.
Right?
And Microsoft, too. I guess maybe this is something that all big tech companies do.
They're always exploring new things.
Microsoft seems to do less of that nowadays.
Yeah,
they've started to focus. Google has
What do you mean? They just announced 10 versions of Windows 10.
10 SKUs.
Yeah, but it's all the same OS.
Here's the rumor.
They add like one new feature and they call it a different
I can't believe they call them different things.
And the first three are free.
I
don't even know why they need to differentiate anyway.
Jeff is right.
Free should all be the same.
Yeah. Windows Home, Mobile, and Pro are all free. So like, what are you going to,
which one do I want for
I want to run Windows
do I want to pay the extra
on my
$0?
laptop.
I think what the consensus was on Windows Weekly with Paul and Mary Jo, what we figured out is it's just so that if you currently have Windows 8 or 7 or 8 Home, you'll get Windows
Home
10 Home.
Got it.
If you have Pro, you'll get Pro.
You got to pay me to use Windows.
Yeah. One rumor from 9 to 5 Mac, Mark Gurman, who's very good on this stuff, says Apple Beats Music will have a ping-like social network.
Something tells me they're not going to pitch it that way.
They better not say the word ping. Do people even remember ping? Apple's ill-fated social network. It just did not work at all.
Oh, it's terrible. Do people remember what was the thing before Google Plus?
Oh, Google
Wave?
Buzz.
Well, isn't part of Jay-Z's title the social thing as well? Like you can hang with
your playlists from celebrities.
Right, celebrity playlists, stuff like that.
Yeah, but Beats does that too, and they were doing that before.
So what you're really saying is it's kind of too late to make a dent in streaming. It's like Spotify's already there.
No, I think Apple like with many things, once they put their brand and their might behind it, they could have a serious impact. And I'm sure Spotify is running scared right now.
Jay-Z put on a concert, a private concert last night for Tidal subscribers. And, of course, they had a Prince concert from Baltimore was exclusive to Tidal as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're trying to make this stuff happen. Apparently, I didn't watch it, but he dissed Spotify and YouTube during his concert.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it. There's a couple of F-bombs.
Yeah, okay, we won't watch it. What a shock, really?
YouTube's like the best music discovery tool. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people in college today use YouTube as their main jukebox. Instead, they don't use Spotify. They don't use iTunes. They just, when they want to hear something, they pull it up on YouTube.
Right.
Yep.
YouTube
is a music video, and they don't pay attention to the video
But that's the Google Play, because All Access includes ad-free.
Yep.
Right.
YouTube
I mean, this is why
videos.
Google is finally
I think they got
saying we're not going to create a separate music service.
Right.
We're going to.
We got one.
Well, they
called
do have
YouTube.
one, but
Right.
yeah, YouTube, they're starting.
Well,
to
I pay the
turn into a music
$10.
service.
Actually, it was only $8 because I got it early on All Access Music, and I get the YouTube playlist and everything, and no ads.
All Access has been awesome for me too.
I put it up on the TV and let them play.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love what I love is like, oh, I want to listen to that one song by Madonna. You know, like that one that I don't have on that album that's in a CD in the basement.
Yeah.
And I can listen to it
It's right there. Here's the rap from Jay-Z. You bought 9 iPhones and Steve Jobs is rich. Phil Knight is worth trillions. You still bought them kicks. Spotify 9 billion. They ain't say beep. I guess maybe I didn't do that really as well as Jay-Z did.
It was close.
Was it?
Was that really his lyrics?
That's the lyrics. You bought 9 iPhones and Steve Jobs is rich. By the way, that's about right. I think I did buy 9 iPhones. Phil Knight is worth trillions. Of course, he's Nike. You still bought them kicks. Spotify is 9 billion. They ain't say
beep.
What rhymes with kicks? Sticks.
They ain't say
licks.
Sticks.
So he rhymes rich kicks. I don't know. I don't understand rap. You kids today with your music and your long hair, you're just disrespecting this fine nation of ours.
Get a job.
Get a job.
Go get a job.
Cut your hair and get a job. Did I show you my new glasses? It's Warby Parker time.
You should. Come on. Let's do it.
All right. I want you to help me
see
choose
mine?
some
They're
glasses.
pretty hot. Aren't they?
I like them. Now, do you have in every shade?
No. I wish.
Is
They're
it always
expensive.
green? So wouldn't you like to buy glasses that start at $95? That includes
would.
prescription lenses?
I would.
You want progress? Oh. Do I look like Jack Nicholson?
Wow. Look at you. You
These
kind
are
of look
good.
like the Blues Brothers with this on, actually.
Oh, shut up. Not nearly as sexy.
Come on. The Blues Brothers is a classic film.
It's dark. I'm wearing sunglasses. Warby Parker decided they were going to reinvent the way you buy eyeglasses. They are made from the same high-quality materials sold in boutique shops, but the prices... See, these are too small for my head. I like the look, though. These are nice. They're kind of... So what you do is you go online to Warby, W-A-R-B-Y, Parker, P-A-R-K-E-R.com. Fast Company just picked them as the #1 most innovative company of 2015. And you pick 5 glasses, 5 frames, I guess, from the collection, and get the try-on, the home try-on kit. Oh, I like these. I do not look like Roy Orbison. I'm trying on sunglasses. So you can get sunglasses or you can get prescriptions or both. In fact, my sunglasses are prescription sunglasses because at $95, very affordable. They're styled often by, the great designers, but also after classic vintage frames. I have to say, I don't want to name names. Their monopoly keeps these prices artificially high. Warby Parker wanted to reinvent this business. Did you see the 60 Minutes piece? These are for you. These are yours, Myriam.
Oh, yeah, they're good. Here.
Yeah, you try those on.
Let's try them.
So this is the home try-on. You go to warbyparker.com/twit.
How does this
Choose 5 pairs.
Oh, yeah.
Theo, what do you think?
I like it. Where'd
Does this
Theo
look
go?
okay? He's back there somewhere.
I like it.
To
Those
me?
are you. Wait a minute, let me see. You look sharp.
Hello.
Oh, you look sharp in those.
All right.
So we're
Right
going to
on.
buy these for you.
I can drive home.
And by the way, you'll feel good about this. With every pair you purchase, Warby Parker sends a pair to someone in need.
Of course.
They partner with Vision Spring and others to nonprofits to get
It's very nice.
glasses to people who need them. So, for a stylish new pair of prescription glasses or sunglasses, warbyparker.com/twit. Get the home try-on, free 3-day shipping on your final frame purchase. but you got to go to warbyparker.com/twit. Progressive lenses now are available. This is something new. They are expensive. Well, not if you've paid for them before, $295. And they're using a really cool digital freeform lens. So you don't get trifocals. It's progressive. When you look down, it's reading. When you look up, it's distance. And the digital application means you get a larger field of vision, so the design is more precise than traditional progressives. I've been using these. They're great. Really great. warbyparker.com/twit.
Mark, do you want to try some?
I think those look good on you.
Yeah.
Try them on. Let's see. How cool does
Jeff,
he look?
Never
sorry.
done the Warby Parker experience before.
Oh, doesn't he look good?
Wow.
Wow. You look like you ought to be playing.
Yeah.
You look like, you look a little bit like Dobie Gillis.
I don't know who that is.
No, I know. Only
Of course
Jeff
he
and
doesn't know
I.
who that was.
Yeah.
Who is that?
You don't even know.
No.
God, Jeff, we're so old.
Hey.
Before Gilligan's Island, there was.
Oh, okay. Got
Maynard
Gilligan's.
G. Krebs.
Good point.
Work!
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 Nobody remembers that.
Nobody remembers.
warbyparker.com/twit.
He kind of looks like Tom Cruise in whatchamacallit, the movie. What's the movie? Where
Oh, yeah, Top Gun.
Risky business.
No.
Oh, Risky,
Business.
the first one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I thought you would.
That's good.
I'm
That's really
relieved
good.
that you know who I was referring to.
I'm just going. This is Egyptian geeks. There are hackers in Egypt.
Of course they are.
Why not? This guy, Egyptian Geeks, the biggest Egyptian tech community, he publishes a ESET authentication vulnerability that lets you go to ESET and get unlimited free licenses. Apparently, there's some cross-site scripting. You can inject a little something. He shows the whole thing. Result, every time you send the above request, you'll receive a free paid license of NOD 32 valid for a year. So he tells ESET, and ESET sends him an email saying, "Thank you for reporting this vulnerability. I can offer you ESET Smart Security License and/or a formal acknowledgement."
He just got a license for free.
Got thousands. What do you? I don't need that.
Wow.
There's vulnerabilities everywhere. Anyway, I'm sure they've fixed it by now. Don't try this at home. It could get you in trouble. Venom, we've been talking a little bit about Venom. This was a security vulnerability that affected anybody doing virtual machines or hypervisor machines. Now, by the way, very important, if you're going to have a vulnerability, give it a good name.
Right. Venom is good.
Venom is a
good one.
It's good.
Heartbleed, I think, is a little better, but
I liked
good.
This. This is bigger than Heartbleed, except if you ask Steve Gibson, he says, "Come on, this isn't." So this uses a flaw. By the way, Venom stands for Virtualized Environment Neglected Operations Manipulation. That's a retronym if I ever heard one.
Yeah, but it sounds great.
It involves widely ignored legacy. Get this, virtual floppy disk controller.
Oh, yeah.
So the code, and apparently
Nice.
this reference code is in everybody's VM because why bother to write new floppy disk controllers? It allows a hacker to break out of the virtual machine to access other machines, including those owned by other people or companies. It was in an open source emulator that dates back to 2004. VirtualBox includes it. KVM, Zen, VMware is not affected. Hyper-V is not affected. I don't think Venom is such a... I mean, come on, really? But boy, they write the stories here. Oh, good. That's good. They write the stories here. This flaw may be one of the biggest vulnerabilities found this year, or at least the vulnerability with the best name this year. Steve said, "Relax, don't worry." And by the way, I got an email from our sysadmin. We have fixed all of our servers. Venom is not an issue. So, good news. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed
That's right.
that the trailer has been released for the new Steve Jobs.
Do you want to watch it?
Let's watch it.
This is, well, a little background. May I set the clip up?
Please.
Do it. There's a lot of excitement, Leo.
So this is there's already been one horrific Steve Jobs biopic with Ashton Kutcher in it.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Very bad.
It was
Terrible.
Terrible.
It wasn't even, it was historically bizarre. And Steve Wozniak was just appalled because it completely misrepresented him. This one, we're a little worried about. This is made by, was this Sony Pictures Entertainment?
Sony's doing it, and they got the rights to Walter Isaacson's biography.
It's based on his biography.
Written by Aaron Sorkin.
But it's written by Aaron Sorkin, who doesn't like...
Watch out.
Look, they need to make it entertaining. It's
but
not
Aaron
doesn't
be like technology, am I right?
He hates technology. He writes haughty speeches on disaster.
He did write The Social Network, which was historically horrific.
Which was a great movie, though.
Newsroom, no,
all right.
It was a big fat lie. Newsroom is awful.
Newsroom is terrible.
Newsroom is pretty
West
bad.
Wing, one of the greatest shows of all time.
West Wing.
Also, everybody has one hit.
It was good.
The problem is, of course, Aaron is repeating himself a lot now, as am I.
He gets on a soapbox and then it becomes troublesome, but I feel like movies keep him in check. Like, he doesn't really do the soapbox thing as much in
Did
film.
Fincher direct this? Who's going to direct this movie?
No, it's...
They wanted Fincher.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it. They also wanted Christian Bale for Steve Jobs.
And he was thinking about it, but then he realized it's a no-win.
By the way,
Michael Fassbender's.
Am I wrong that the Steve Jobs was not a loquacious guy? He's a man of few words.
Man of few words, but ladies and gentlemen,
but Sorkin depends
in the hands of Aaron Sorkin. Get ready, there will be walking, talking. Let's go full screen, ladies and gentlemen. We give you the first trailer of the Steve Jobs movie.
Should we?
Planet's going to shift on its axis 9 forever.
I can't lose that.
Oh, Danny Boyle. All right.
Two most significant events of the 20th century. Allies win the war.
Turn it up.
You can't write code. You are not.
Can you restart?
Restart it.
Restart. We want to hear it. We want to hear it.
Yeah, it was really
kill
bad.
the Google ad.
Could we do my Mystery Science?
941. The planet's going to shift on its axis 9 forever.
Oh,
Two most significant events of the 20th century. The Allies win the war, and this.
You can't write code. You are not an engineer. What do you do?
The musicians play the instruments. I play the orchestra. I sat in a garage and invented the future. Because artists lead and hacks ask for a show of hands.
I love that you don't care how much money a person makes. You care what they make. But what you make isn't supposed to be the best part of you.
You're the only one who sees the world the same way I do.
What is this trailer?
No one sees the world the same way you do.
WTF.
So that was Seth Rogen who said, "You're not a coder." Seth Rogen, of course, plays Woz. And Jeff Daniels, who is he?
Jeff Daniels is
What the heck was that?
That is the worst.
That was terrible.
That was the worst trailer.
well, it's a teaser.
No
It's okay.
sense.
Michael Fassbender's not a great Steve Jobs look-wise.
No.
I mean, he's an excellent actor.
But it was like
so
I thought Kate Winslet was an excellent Kara Swisher.
Yeah.
What?
Was she? What?
No, I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
Who is she playing?
Yeah, who is she playing?
We don't know. She has an accent. She's playing Angela Merkel. I don't know. Jeff Daniels is John Scully. Oh, that's good casting.
Oh, Scully. Okay.
Scully, yeah.
All right.
But who is she? That's Kate Winslet.
I think she is
His assistant.
The PR lady.
No one knows. Oh, maybe it's Katie
Joanna
Cotton?
Hoffman, a member of the original Mac team.
Oh, Joanna Hoffman, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
And Seth.
Seth is
That's
Woz.
actually a pretty good choice.
Yeah, he's got a beard.
he
He's got
looks-
curly hair. Well, how
got
could
the
you go
look.
wrong? This is terrible.
PepsiCo dude.
This is terrible. It looks like Mike Elgin.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't look like Jobs. He looks like Elgin. All right. Well, there you go.
Well, I was underwhelmed.
Wow. I'm sorry we stopped the whole show for that.
Danny Boyle's a good director too, so I'm holding out hope.
I thought he did an excellent job with the 2010 Olympics opening ceremony.
It's true.
Maybe it's just me. But I like the Hobbit Hill and all of that stuff.
I don't remember it.
I think the one thing Ashton Kutcher had going for him is that he does look a lot like
He
a
looked
young
like
Steve
he looks
Jobs.
like Jobs. Yeah.
But that's not the most important thing in a movie.
No.
I'm holding out hope for this one.
It's not over yet.
Optimist.
Yeah, I think this confirms everything that you and I thought about Sorkin.
Oh, Sorkin's just a disaster. Just a disaster.
He looks. It doesn't. That's not. It's fair. This is why it's hard to do a Steve Jobs movie. By the way,
It's going to be about him ruining the world.
Yeah, of course, Because that's what Sorkin thinks.
This will be fun, though. If it is that, since Sorkin is so anti-technology, it'll be really fun to watch the fanboys.
Yeah. No kidding.
Oh, will they be unhappy? Because the fanboys are even unhappy with the biography, right?
Yeah. Everybody, even in the people at Apple said, oh, we hated that Walter Isaacson biography, which I thought was pretty good, but
it's very good.
What do I know? I read the new ones, Becoming Steve Jobs. That's the one that the insiders like.
Yeah. It's a lot friendlier.
You should try to get Gruber to come and blow a gasket here.
Maybe we should do a show where you should all go watch the movie together.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't shoot the movie, but you could shoot us. Yeah.
That would be good.
All right, I think we've done. We killed the energy before we go.
Sorry.
Wow, that was terrible.
Are there more movie trailers we can watch?
Yes.
Let's watch Mad Max.
A better video?
Oh, I saw Mad Max yesterday. Good. Awesome.
Can't wait to see it.
Thursday.
That's all
Can't
I'll
wait
say.
to see it.
Okay.
Can't wait to see it.
Have you seen Spider Dog?
Wait a minute. There's a movie called Spider Dog?
No, it's a video.
Oh.
Chica the Spider Dog. Just for a little lighthearted ending here, if you want it.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
From Poland. I discovered this weekend in Helsinki from Poland. Major hit.
Jeff, this could go sideways so many ways.
This is what's so awesome about it.
I just took over the entertainment system and hit the jet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we give you, from Poland, Chica the Spider Dog.
Screen it.
Is this it?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, just want to make sure.
It is a dog dressed as a spider killing people.
I'm sorry. This is going to give me nightmares. I don't want to.
All right.
This is.
Oh, I've seen this
Also,
one.
for those of you listening at home, there's really nothing much going on.
It's
very dark.
It's very dark.
Do I skip forward?
Vogdega presents. Is it a whole movie?
It's really awesome.
It's 3 minutes.
Spider. This guy's coming out the door with his garbage. This spider dog is lurking behind a tree. He's going to. Oh, they blurred the guy's head out.
Is it like a hidden camera thing?
It's a dog that's dressed like a spider.
I've seen this. This is good.
Oh, so this is like
It's like a dash.
What is it? A collie with a spider costume?
Yeah.
and the guy jumps. So this is like candid camera.
Yeah.
They open the door and a dog dressed as a spider comes out.
It gets really good at the end. Watch.
Actually, I think I might have seen this.
I've seen this. It's good.
I didn't know about this.
She's open. They're going to the elevator. They're getting in the elevator. But beware.
Let's see what they're going to see.
Oh, there's a guy. The spider dog's killed a guy. He's on his back. The dog is going to come out.
I like the music. The music's good.
And here comes, and they're screaming, oh my God, oh my God. There's a spider that's killed a man. Okay, now there's a guy in a tree wrapped up in spider web.
This is what we get for watching that horrible trailer. This right here.
This will take a taste of that Jobs movie right out of you.
This is what it's come to.
Here comes, there's a guy in the tree. He's wrapped up in, what is that, webbing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is, what's going on? And then cue the spider dog. I don't think it's nice to make people scared like that.
No, it's not, but
it's
this is just bizarre.
Entertainment.
It's just bizarre.
Huge hit. Huge hit in Poland.
Really, this is what everybody's watching in Poland, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Have you seen Ex Machina or Ex Machina yet?
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
It's very slow.
Howard Stern got in trouble because they gave him, the pronunciation they gave him for the ad was Machina. And he knows better, and he knows, but they're paying the bills. So he said Machina. And everybody got mad at him.
It's actually Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, yes.
Mm-hmm. But only if you speak Latin.
You speak Latin, Leo?
For some reason, Lisa keeps calling it Ex Machina.
I've heard a lot of people calling it Ex Machina.
Machina.
They
don't ever say in the movie the name, so you don't know really how it's supposed to be pronounced. The plot of it is that artificial, and I don't know, I don't want no spoilers, but a big company, kind of like a spooky, kind of googly Microsoft company. The founder, mysterious guy, lives up in the mountains, very remote, has a contest amongst all the employees of his company. One guy wins, a redhead. I don't know how else to describe him. Kind of a gangly guy. Redhead wins and gets invited to visit I don't want to give away anything.
Don't.
So I won't. But there's a moment in the movie where they show some source code. Now, our good friend John Graham Cumming specializes in capturing source code. So I must have been there with a camera, snapped a picture of the source code. It says Blue Book Code Decryption. Here it is. He transcribes it. This is on his Tumblr blog called Source Code in TV and Films.
Is that the geekiest specialty I've ever seen?
Oh, John Graham Cummings, awesome. And by the way, it's great to read this whole blog because the beginnings, like it's nonsense code, right? But get this. This code does something. You could actually import this code and run it. And what would you get after you ran the code with Python 2.7? You'd get the following. An ISBN number. ISBN equals, and here's the number. Turns out it's the ISBN number for a book called Embodiment and the Inner Life, Cognition and Consciousness in the Space of Possible Minds.
Easter egg.
Wow. What and cool. The fact that they put that in the code on screen, pretty impressive. And thanks.
I have a confession, Leo.
Yes.
I'm going to prove that I'm not a real man.
What?
You know what I really want to see?
What?
Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh, I love Pitch Perfect. Great movie.
That led the box office this weekend.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's horrible.
Oh, yeah. Killer.
I'm sure it's horrific. But I like the first one.
I did too.
What could be wrong with a cappella, competitions? It's fun. All right. Ex Machina, just, I wish I could talk about it because there are some substantial errors in the plot.
So you're not recommending it?
It's good. It's fun. It's slow. You didn't like it, John? Yeah. There's some issues. There's some issues. I'll just say this one thing at the end. Just you're watching the movie at the end. I won't say anything. She walks out the door, and all I'm thinking is she forgot her batteries. I'm just saying, what's going to happen? She gets in the helicopter. She's going to... Anyway, that's all I'm going to say.
Like your watch.
Like my watch. I'm just saying, don't forget your charger. Okay? She left her charger behind.
Okay, go watch Mad Max instead.
It's better?
Yes.
I want to see it.
Excellent.
A good remake? You were a fan of the originals?
Well, I think it's more of a sequel.
Well, yeah.
Not remake, sequel.
Yeah.
You're a fan of the originals, though.
Well, I saw the first one with Mel Gibson, but
it's big.
I haven't seen the Thunderdome one,
Oh,
and I've
no.
heard that that's
You
better.
have
So
to.
I need
think
to.
they're all
It's different. They're all good.
I think they're all great.
All good.
Right.
Here's my other confession.
Yeah.
Appropriate to tonight.
Yeah.
I have never made it through one episode of Mad Men.
Last episode tonight, so don't watch it.
Yeah.
I am very
won't know what
excited
the
on the
hell's
other
happening.
hand. I'm very excited. Already some massive revelations. Who is Mad Max? Ask Mark who Mad Max is. You know who Mad Max
The
is.
actor? Or,
Yeah, who plays Mad Max?
Tom Hardy.
Okay.
In the new one. Yeah.
Anything important?
He's really good. He was Bane in
He's Bane.
Dark
Love Bane.
Knight Rises.
Oh, he talks a little strangely.
But other than that, he's fun. Hey, thank you, everybody. This has been fun. I want to thank Jeff Jarvis for coming in on his Sunday evening.
I stayed awake.
Oh, you don't have to watch Mad Men.
No, I don't.
You don't care.
No, I'll watch Wolf Hall.
There was a rumor going around. Oh, I love the book, Wolf Hall. Love the book.
The show's very good.
I can't wait. Well, that's a PBS thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a period piece. Last Letterman. Oh, this is the last 3 David Letterman shows.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There's
end of
some
an era.
question whether Leno might show up or not.
No, he denied it to Howard Stern. That would be just the worst, most awful thing.
It'd be painful because
Yeah.
they had a big fight. He didn't go to the last. He didn't go to the last Leno.
He's a jerk, Leno. Leno called me once. I gave Leno a bad review when he took over the show.
Hey, what did you give me a bad
And
review
he called, yeah, what, you didn't like it?
You didn't like it?
Well,
It's a good
yeah,
show.
Jay, that's what I said. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. Oh.
Go watch Wolf Hall. I'm going to watch both. I'm dying to know what happens at the end of Mad. Somebody said that he actually, in the last episode of Mad Men, and actually on the East Coast, you might have already found this out, is D.B. Cooper. He jumps
That was
out
a
of.
popular theory from a couple of years ago. Now,
That would be good. He goes, hijacks a plane, gets $1 million, jumps out, and they never find him again.
that would be a great ending. Matthew Weiner kind of shot it down, though.
It's the
when he was
same
asked
year.
about it.
I looked it up. It's the same time frame.
I think it's a great theory.
1971.
And I think it would be a great ending, actually.
Perfect.
That's cool.
Then have the world talking.
It's okay. You can do it.
I want to thank you, Myriam, for being here. Myriam, you're the best.
Aw, thank you.
And thank you for bringing your LG. And if you want to leave it.
No. I love it too much.
I like it.
It's so good.
I think that's my next phone.
I took it on a road trip.
So fickle.
And it was just amazing. The little light on
and you like it with the Moto 360? That's your...
Yeah, I mean, right now that's what I'm doing. Sometimes I have Pebble as well.
I don't know. I like that Urbane. I like the new 5.1.
I'm getting one, so I'll let you know.
Yeah.
They're sending
Don't
me
get
one
the gold.
soon.
Get the silver.
Well, yeah, I heard, but
I got the gold.
I probably won't have a choice. They'll just review
That
it.
whatever you
know,
get.
they just whatever it is.
Yeah. Mr. Mark Milian is at the Bloomberg Business Week. You can find him at bloomberg.com/global tech, where he covers the world, which is great. Really great.
Yes.
Thank you for coming up.
Do you have access to one of the Bloomberg terminals?
Oh, he does.
Oh,
he has
yeah.
a card. Show me your
Use
card.
it every day.
Show me your Bloomberg card. It's awesome.
What is? It's like some kind of magical
It's
thing.
magic. You swipe the card. Does it do dual factor? Do you have to do a password and the card?
Is it a retinal scan?
Yeah, it's two-factor.
As well?
It's got it's a fingerprint.
No, don't let him have it. Oh,
he would need my fingerprint to get in.
She's got a Bloomberg card. Oh, you mean your fingerprint's on there?
Yeah, yeah, fingerprint reader.
Yeah.
Wow.
Check this out.
Talk about security. Is it true Michael Bloomberg's going to be the next mayor of London? Did you see that?
I've heard the rumors. Yeah,
bizarre.
It seems unlikely. Yeah, I don't know.
He would be the first person ever to be the mayor of New York and London, I believe.
So it has a little
He would be a
display
great
as well,
mayor.
does it?
Is it a little
It
display?
does, yeah. Well, that gives
the
you your
6-digit
code
number.
for your.
Wow.
So you have to swipe, press, read, type. It's like 18 steps.
It's amaze balls.
It's called the B unit.
A Bloomberg way.
Jeff Jarvis, again, thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Color now. Sorry.
We'll see you. Well, no, I like it. It's sunset in the beautiful Jarvis mansion.
It is.
We will see you next Wednesday, right? You're going to be here for Twig?
Yes,
All right.
I'll be here.
Counting on.
Well, I'll be here this week. I'll be here.
And then next week you'll be in studio.
I'll be, as I would call it, there.
Yes, but I would call it here.
But I would
you
call
would call
it
it there. Bring your charger.
I am jet lagged.
And your batteries. Ladies and gentlemen, we do This Week at Tech every Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2200 UTC. You can watch live, and I like it if you do because it's fun. And if you want to be in studio, even better. Tickets at twit.tv. If you can't be here in studio or watch live, you can always get the show after the fact. And, you know, if you are watching after the fact, you missed all the good stuff because we cut it out. But you can get it at twit.tv. God, I hope we cut it out. Twit.tv or wherever finer podcasts are aggregated, including the podcatcher on your mobile device or our Twit apps that we mentioned. Did I mention that Ed Felton is now Deputy U.S. CTO? I forgot that.
No, we didn't, but now you just did.
That is great news.
Yeah.
Because he is like the guy.
The dude.
We got Megan Smith, and then under her, Ed Felton is a great combination. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Now, here's the magic words. Another Twit is in the can.
Yay!
Wow. They actually applauded.